What's up, Athieros? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another late weekend reaction. And yeah, I'm sorry I'm late. I had to negotiate my loan. As you know, when Arsenal played the next day, it's wife day. But because I went to the game, I had to negotiate, coming in on stream. Shout out to my mother-in-law, who she's on the phone with now. So I got about a good 3 hours so I can be on stream. But yeah, man. As I said, I went to the game yesterday and I was gonna come on after, but I didn't get home until like 11:30. And I was shattered. So yeah, man, we back. We back to talk about yesterday's match. I would have come on earlier, but I was watching Sevilla capitulate, really. They were up a goal, and then they Osasuna scored the equalizer, and in the last minute of the game, they headed home the winner. And that means that Sevilla is still in the relegation zone, which ain't great. I got one team that's trying their hardest to throw away a title, and another team is trying their hardest to get relegated. So it's been an eventful season. If you guys hear any wind in the background, that's just my fan because it's a little bit warm in my room today. But yeah, well, welcome back. Let's talk some Arsenal, man. 1-0, famous 1-0 to the Arsenal. And I'm being positive. As I said, I was going to be positive for the rest of the year. And I'm positive that we got the 3 points. But I can't help but feel in that match that we didn't get as much as we should have. We didn't put our kind of foot on the neck of Newcastle, and they were there for the taking. They were more than there for the taking, and we let them off the hook. I mean, 1-0. It to me, it flattered to deceive. There was a shot that went wide. There was another shot where he actually made it. There were a couple of times where we could have had a shot, and we just touch, losing the angle. And then, yeah, man, I never felt like Newcastle were gonna get on top of us or dominate us. But man, I just feel like there were so many wasted chances. And it could come back to bite us in the title race. Excuse me. But yeah, how's everybody doing? There's only a couple of you in, but yeah, we'll just have a chat. You guys know how this turns out. As I said, it's gonna be this is probably gonna be an hour. I'm probably gonna be on here till 8-9 o'clock. I mean, till 9 o'clock. It is 8 o'clock already. But yeah. So 1-0. And let me see if I can pull up the team sheet, and we'll talk about some of the performances. Because I think that one thing that I realized, and like I said, I'm fortunate enough to go to matches, but I feel like when you're in person, you start to see things that you can't see on the television. You start to see things and habits. And I like going in person. I know everybody can't, but I like going in person because I can focus on one player. I can focus on kind of what they do, their movement. And I did that at points. I focused on a couple of players. Martin Odegaard was one of them. Boy, if you guys are Odegaard lovers, it's going to be brutal when we start talking about him. And I said I'd be positive. But there were times yesterday where Odegaard, I just feel like there was a comment that was made around us, and I was sitting in the North Bank. There was a comment, and they were just like, bro, is he scared to shoot? Is he scared to go forward? And I'm just sitting there like, bro, you're a captain. Like, people in the stands shouldn't be asking whether our captain is afraid to shoot. Shouldn't be asking whether our captain is afraid to move the ball forward. You know, to me, I just felt that we need something more when it comes to attacking midfielders. And I will say that I do like Eza next to Odegaard, because I feel like it kind of makes Odegaard have to do a little bit more. But man, I'm just, hold on one moment. Got delivery. Thank you. But yeah, I just feel like if someone's next to him, then he can, it kind of masks some of the things that he does or doesn't do. You know, Martin Odegaard, he leads the press. He does a lot of the running. He does a lot of the pressing. He does a lot of the haranguing. But we need you to be a creator. And I think when you have someone like Eza next to him, even if Eza's playing the left wing, which I think he was, but if you have someone like Eza next to him, it takes the pressure off of him. But he can actually give the ball to somebody who wants to drive forward. He can give the ball to someone who wants to move. And I think that when Eza came off last night, we lost that. Like, we lost that person who wanted to move forward. We lost that person who, you know, wanted to keep going and driving. And it was obvious, man. It was very obvious. Let me pull up the, nope. I thought I could. Hold on. I was gonna pull up the team sheet, but it disappeared. And you guys know me. Let me see if I can find it again. Sorry. But yeah. And I'm just waiting also till, you know, my usuals come in here. I know they're here. So let me see. Let me add it to the thing. Cool. Big up, Rick. And I finally got it. Hold on. There we go. And that was yesterday's lineup. Yeah. I thought it was all right. I thought the lineup was all right. I wanted to show you, my wife just dropped it off. Because every time I go, I want to show you guys kind of the program, if I do go. So so this is the program from yesterday. And of course, guess who's front and center? Our El Capitan, Martin Odegaard. When I saw this, I was like, brusky. I was like, I know it's gonna be a day, bro. You know, Martin Odegaard, it's a love note to him in there. You know, it's all to play for, and it's the best part of the season. Is it though? Is it? You know, of course they've got captain's notes, and then the middle bit. You got Podolski. Not normal. We're not normal. Yeah, it's just some moments. I don't like to take the middle bit out, but it does have like, I like to match programs. They highlight some things, but I saw this, and this is something that we're going to talk about today, guys. This right here, this man right here, we're going to talk about him today. There might be some ugly realizations that we might have to have about this dude here. But yeah, let's talk about the lineup. Let's get to the lineup. And big up, Rick. Thank you for stopping by. Is Ezra okay? He looked fine walking off to me. But I'm not entirely sure. I don't. To me, it feels more like a precaution. Than kind of a major injury. Now, Kai Havertz is the one I'm worried about. And you guys know me. Like, Kai Havertz, man, Kai, you know what I'm saying? I call him the donkey. But like I said, we're going to talk about the player ratings, and we're going to talk about some of the players. So let's get into the player ratings. Now that, a little bit more people are in. All right. So there we go. That's what we started with. And bro, I was just so gassed with being there that I forgot about the team sheet. I forgot who the selection is. I didn't know who they started. Till they started announcing them. But my jersey's falling. But yeah, man, I didn't know who they was till they announced it. I was just gassed to be there. I met up very briefly with some of my South Florida guys. And I was just hanging out, man. The sun was out. It was great atmosphere. And the lineup came out, and I was like, interesting. And it's basically what we saw the last match. But let's go to the prayer. David Raya gets a 6 for me. In the first half, there was a shot that I remember that he did have to save, just some goofy stuff, goofiness from us at the back, and he saved it pretty well. Other than that, I can't remember a time where he was really under that much threat. He might have made a couple of other saves, but for me, like, I don't know how you guys felt watching at home, or if you were at the stadium, how you felt, but to me, it felt short, man. I never felt Newcastle were gonna get into the game and just dominate us. However, I just felt that at some point, I felt that they might equalize due to our kind of mistakes and our being goofy at the back. Now, one thing I will say, one thing that was pointed out to me by, my mate Woody, who I was sat by, bro, why do we this thing with Raya standing on the ball, like just having his foot on the ball and standing there, doing tiki-taka passes with our defenders? Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, I know that, the modern thing, that's how Mikel wants to play, bro, but people don't go to football to watch a goalkeeper with the ball at their feet, bro. Like honestly. So, like, to me, it's kind of annoying that we have to keep kind of watching us play, pass at the back. And especially at the beginning of the game, man, when Raya is like passing out to the defender, and instead of someone turning or looking forward, they pass it back to Raya, and it puts us under pressure. And I feel like there's that moment in every game. There's always a moment every game where we're playing goofball at the back, and we have a mistake, and then Raya's got to scramble and save us, right? Bro, what? I mean, I know why you can't help along, because we're going to talk about it. Our striker isn't really good at holding the ball up. But I'm gonna give him a 6 because, as I said, he didn't really have that much to do. And yeah, bro, it is what it is, right? I mean, he's standard. I thought, like I said, he made a couple of saves, but I can't see where he was actually under any real pressure. Ben White. His legs are gone. There's something not right about Ben White. And like I said, being in the stadium and being next to people, you can actually, you hear people talking, you hear people saying things in real time. And a lot of what was being said, and big up Prone, thank you for stopping by. A lot of things that were being said was like, it's sad to see White because he looks like he's lost a step. And Prom never apologized for coming, man. I'm going to waffle if you show up. Like I said, every time, I just appreciate people's time. If 2 or 3 people are in here and they're watching, that's good enough for me, because that's your time that you're giving up to watch me, whether you're just listening or actually interacting. I appreciate it. So never apologize for being late, man. Better late than never. So big up. Big up Mateo, and big up the chat. Yep, big up everyone. And like people were saying around me, man, that Ben White's lost a step. And it's obvious to see. There were times where you know, Newcastle were on their attack, and you'd watch the winger run. And I'm watching Ben White run, and I'm like, ooh, I hope they don't pass to him because he looks like he's struggling to catch up. And they didn't, which, you know, and I feel like we kind of you know, got away with it. And big up Mateo said, I'm just passing by. I'll tune in again if it's going. I'm binging Michael Jackson music video. Hey man, I don't mind being second to Michael Jackson. Yeah, it was that guy is the ultimate legend, man. He's the ultimate legend. I love Michael Jackson. Especially, you know, remember the time. I feel like Remember the Time as a music video was kind of like the most disrespectful thing. The man was moonwalking in front of this dude, in front of the Pharaoh, bro. Moonwalking in front of the Pharaoh while stealing his woman. Like, there is no bigger disrespect than moonwalking in front of a dude while you taking his girl. That's crazy. But big up Michael Jackson. May he rest in peace. Don't stop till you get enough. Yeah, classic. I'm gonna watch his movie when I can. But yeah. And Prom said, I was just finishing dinner. I cooked chicken burgers and fries. Yeah, man, my wife took me out to the buffet, which is probably not a good thing for me trying to lose weight. But, you know, I've had my dinner for the day. And I'm gassed either way. And Mateo said, man, I was 4 years old when he was still alive. I still remember how insanely worldwide. Yeah, man, I grew up. Listen, I remember right when I was young, and Pro might remember this. I remember I was young. There was a movie, Free Willy, right? And it was almost what was it? Like the late 90s, I think it was. But it was on VHS, and it was a movie called Free Willy. It was on VHS. And in the beginning of the VHS, he had what was the name of the song? I'll Be There, I think it was called. Oh man, hold on. Now I need to know because it's gonna bug me. Will You Be There? That's what it is. Will You Be There? And I remember, bro. I remember he had this part, and I remember he had this part, and he was like, they was like holding him up like this. And I used to be a little kid, and I had my arms out. I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, it's to be, you know what I'm saying? And for me, late 90s, bro, Michael Jackson was the man was GOAT in the 80s, bro. Like, you know, Thriller every Halloween. Like, oh man. Let me get into some. See, this is why we never get to the player ratings, because man, we just go on a tangent, and I love it. I love it. He said, man, Pro said hi. Man wasn't stealing, just integrate. Yeah, bro. You see Magic Johnson in the background, and you got Eddie Murphy and this dude talking, remember the time where I took the queen? Like, bro, diabolical. So, yeah, man, this man moonwalking and stealing your girl. That's crazy. He said I was pissed out by coffee. Yeah, bro. Like, man, I've been wanting to go to a buffet, man, trying to bulk, even though I've been bulking. Listen, I'm trying to lose some, right? Listen, you guys know I love that woman that I'm married to, but boy, she can cook, man. She Caribbean, you know, she from the South, she can cook. And I look at before I got married, you know, I was nice and you know, buff, and now you know, I'm like a really muscular oompa loompa. You know what I'm saying? That's what I am. So, but yeah, I'm trying to get back in a shape that's not an oval. But yeah, I should stay away from the buffet. But it's the first time I've been in the buffet in a couple months. But yeah, I'm trying to get back fit again. Pro said probably not a good thing. I remember VHS, born 1976. Yeah. Man, this guy was so goated. 76. Jeez. My mother-in-law was born in 75. So, and man, this guy was so goated. Yeah, Human Nature is one of my favorite. Yeah. Human Nature. I remember being young watching Thriller. Yeah, bro. Scared. Darkness fall across the land. You just don't know. But Mike will never be replicated. You can have anybody, bro. People was fainting at this man. He hadn't even started singing yet. Imagine somebody just standing there and then they faint. Like the man ain't even started the show yet. He just came on and stood like this. And they say, "Oh God, Michael." Hold on real quick, because I think my mouse is dying. Hold on, give me some technical difficulties. Oh geez. I've done myself. Hold on. Give me 2 shakes, guys. My mouse has decided it wants to die. Unfortunately. So, and my cord's now broken. But listen, we're still back. It's fine. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. And I forgot that my tablet, my computer is actually touchscreen. So, we're back. I'll fix it at a later time. But yeah, back to the comments. Jackson's my hero back in the days. Love him. Yep. One of the common human beings. Yeah. And it's a shame that he was tarnished with some of the accusations. But for me, like, this is the thing, man. This is the thing that I feel with Michael Jackson. If people can forgive Elvis, then they can forgive Michael Jackson. That's all I'm saying. If you don't, Elvis, when he met his wife, she wasn't exactly of age, but everybody glosses over that fact. So I'm not saying it's good. You know, like I said, you guys know how I feel about wrongings. You know, people who touch children, and things like that. But you know, his music, I think, was otherworldly, man. It was otherworldly. And he was never convicted. So, you know, whatever the rumors say, he was never convicted of anything, whether he paid them off or not. I mean, it's my channel. I don't believe that he did do those things, because there's a lot of people who came out and said that he didn't. But when you're paying £1 million or $1 million a month to maintain your house, people think that, you know, you have money, and it just takes one wrong kind of moment, or one moment that can be taken in the wrong way, and people run with it. I don't know if he was guilty. or innocent. But I just think that all of the years of him doing stuff, you would think that he would be, it would be like more than, and I'm not saying that, you should distrust any victim, because people who have been victimized, they need to be heard. But, Epstein, there were thousands of reasons, thousands of accusations, thousands of like a whole years of history of him doing that. And then, like Michael Jackson, it was few and far between. And all it takes is to be few and far between, for it to be right. I just think that if he had a problem where he was kind of like an Epstein, then you would hear more about it. It would be 5 million people coming forward. And that's just not what you had with Michael Jackson. You had a few cases, and then he was never proven. Whereas you look at people like R. Kelly, you look at people like Epstein, there were cases. I mean, the Diddler, P. Diddy, there are cases and cases and cases, and more murmurs and more people coming forward. And even after he passed, you just don't hear people coming forward. So for me, it's just a thing where I feel that, if he had done it and it had been an actual problem, because once you're a pedophile or a rapist or an SAer, like that's something that you can't get out of your system. It's something that you never recover from, right? That is innate in you. Like serial killers, they don't recover from being serial killers. You have that in your mind. So it's not something you just do once or twice and you stop and that's it. Like it's something that you have to do. It's in your soul that you have to end someone's life. It's in your soul that you have to SA someone. It's in your soul that you have to have control and stuff. And for me, I just don't think that Michael Jackson fits that. So that's all I'm going to say on that. People can think what they will, but for me, it just don't fit for me. And I'm going to enjoy his music. And like I said, people like Elvis and people like some of the other greats who've had, tarnished legacies, why can't you like the greatest musician, the greatest entertainer the world has ever seen? So that's just my bit on that. So yeah, that's just how I feel. Sorry, let me get back into your comments. Caribbean from the South, yeah, bro. She throw down in the kitchen, which is why I'm plump. Blame on female, bro. It's her fault. I blame her. And then once I eat, right, we be sitting on the couch not doing nothing. I'd be like, dang, bro. Big up, Fraley. From yes, OFC. Big up, DG. And he said, yeah, me too. I remember here behind the sofa for Thriller. I'm gonna always like it, man. I don't think it's scary because you know what scared me? American Werewolf in London. I walked in on that movie and I was like, jeez, crazy. Mateo said, yeah, man, never. I still remember how famous he was before the internet, before I was tech and social media. Bro, Michael Jackson was selling out crowds before social media. Like before, you could see that there was a show coming. Like people had flyers. Like they had flyers and letters, and you would probably see it on TV. And yeah, bro, the guy was, for me, Mike was nearly larger than life, man. DG high, you really have to be born to have that fame. Yeah, like it's something that you have in you, bro. So yeah, big up DG, big up Prom. Back then we had some real music. Yeah, don't even get me started on the stuff. I can't even. Like the person I listen to now is Bad Bunny because obviously he's Puerto Rican. And his last album made me very nostalgic for my childhood. Prom real talent too. Yeah. MJ, Eddie Murphy. Yeah, man. Ricky, can you tell me how's the atmosphere in the stadium on the game? It was good, man. Like it was, I think it was good. It was a little bit nervy, but I can say, and I made this comment when I was sitting there, I didn't hear the Newcastle fans all game. And that could be because we scored fairly early. But I thought they would start singing. I thought they would get into it. I don't remember hearing the Newcastle fans. I do sit in the North Bank. So, they're quite far from me. But usually, like, I'll tell you, when United's fans were there, I heard them. When What was it? Did I go to Sport Lisbon? I went to one. Who did I go with? No, I went to Everton. Everton fans were singing. Like usually, like when Sevilla were there, I heard their fans. You can hear them, but I just didn't hear Newcastle, and I heard a lot of Arsenal, and we were singing. We were having a good time. So yeah, we're trying to get behind the team. I don't believe the rumors, to be honest. I don't believe he did those things. Something would have been said sooner or repeatedly. In my eyes, I believe they hated him for being a star he wasn't, how much stardom he had, and he wasn't one of them. Remember, MTV always rejected him because he was black. I don't know. I'm like, I could do a whole show based on just the color relations in America, but that's another show. I agree with you, Rican. It was a scam to get money. That's what it felt like to me. Facts. They have nothing on him. Facts. And then it came out later on that Mike was actually like, and I don't know how true this was, but it said he was like a mini informant for Epstein. He was telling people that Epstein was doing these things, and nobody was kind of believing him. And then later on, it came out. So yeah. He said 13 years FBI had him watching, controlling, intervening, nothing found. Yeah, bro. I just don't think it. I don't think it was like now. What was Michael a little bit fractured? I mean, when you look at his parent, how his dad treated him, yeah, I think mentally he was a little bit fractured. But I think that he did a lot of good, and I think his heart was in the right place. And I think that sometimes when your heart's in the right place, people try to take advantage of you. But for me, I just don't feel like his heart was in the wrong place. But you don't know people. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. But yeah, for me, it just felt like, yeah, he was in the right place. And they can all eat poo. My goat is innocent. And yeah. You do it over and over again. I'm angry at these people for trying to put shame. Yeah, bro. And Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah. Nightmare, yeah. Nah, can't do it. Big up, Dark Side. Big up. Thank you for stopping by. Elm Street, 40 million records. Yeah. Big up, Dark Side. That's probably why Neverland was, bro. Neverland, like his Neverland Ranch costs £1 million to run per month, bro. $1 million to run. What? Imagine you spending $12 million a year and it's just coming out the pocket like, oh, it's okay, I got it. Michael, the bill is $1 million. It's okay. Take out the side account. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that you have that much money, bro. If I saw 1 million, I'd cry. Listen, if I won 1 million, there would be signs, right? If I won $1 million, there would be signs. You come in here, the background be different, my camera be good. I have a gaming chair sitting there like all the rest of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? There would be signs. Big up, AJ. Subscribe to Dark Side. Yes, please do. Mattel says, crazy, man. Thank God the truth came to light. AJ, big up, my friend. Light always prevails. That's true. Yep. What's up, the Prom? Big up, Prom, as always. And like the stream if you haven't already. Yeah, man. Like, share, subscribe. Listen, guys. I checked, right? I checked, and I want to talk about our game outside of the game. But I did check, and I'm at 487. So we are dangerously close to 500, which we're trying to get there. Trying to get to that 500 before the season ends. Because I said, what will happen first? Arsenal win a trophy, or I get to 500. So yeah, we'll see. And I'm watching NJ live performances 97 in Europe. In Munich, this guy is mesmerizing. Yeah, bro. To the end. But listen, let's get into the player rating so we can actually get the waffle out. So, Ben White, for me, he gets a 4. I think he was a bit slow. I think he was a bit off the pace. Actually gets a 5 because we kept a clean sheet. So all of them, thank you, Prom. Appreciate it. Yeah, they all get a 5 for me. Saliba, Gabriel, they get standard 5s. They didn't put a foot wrong. They didn't let in a goal, so they get 5s from me. And I should rate them higher, but I just think that we weren't. I don't think we were clinical enough, in my opinion. but they did keep Newcastle out, so they get 5s. Listen, my player of the match is getting a 7. I just wanted to let you guys know that's where I'm going. Ain't nobody getting higher than a 7. So yeah, Salim and Gabriel. Hincapie, Hincapie gets a 5 for me as well. The whole defense gets a 5. Hincapie, man, every time I see this guy, I like him. And I have to remember that he's not a left back. He's a center back who's having to play left back. And, you know, he's thrived, man. He's done a good job at left back, especially as it's not his natural position. And he hasn't put a foot wrong. So I'll give him a 5 as well, but I commend him for what he's done. I'm going to talk about the midfield pair in a pair, because if they're both playing, they're both going to be there. Rice and Zubimendi are frustrating for me, because Rice is doing what Zubimendi should be doing, and Zubimendi is having to do what Rice is great at. And for me, they're both 5s. They're both 5s for me, but I just think that not only do they look gassed, and big up. Didn't watch the match. I watched a few minutes in the beginning as it scores the stream. We'll get there. Stopped watching. I knew he'd hold the 1-0. Yeah, I knew as well. But this point is interesting that Prom makes. Rice is fatigued. And not only Rice, Zubimendi. We looked at it last week, right? Zubimendi and Rice have the most minutes of outfield players in our team, right? And you're asking Zubimendi to do a role that Rice is naturally good at. Rice is naturally good at defending the back line. He's naturally good at progressing the ball to a midfielder or to a winger and letting them push up and being there to be the engine that can kind of stop, their midfield from overrunning us and stop their counterattacks, right? So, but he's asked to do like this box about 8 role, which for me, Rice doesn't pass the ball and doesn't have enough splitting passes for him to be an 8. He to me, that's not him attacking forward is not what Rice is good at. He's a dead ball specialist. He's good at protecting the back line, and we have him as his roaming 8, and I just don't think he's great at it. Zubimendi, who's, for lack of a better term, is a lightweight, because be honest, you can play a 6 in La Liga, bro, but playing a 6 in La Liga is not the same as playing a 6 in the Premier League. 2 totally different things. And I think that Zubimendi's passing, and we saw it in the beginning of the season when he's still fit. His passing, his outside shooting, it's a good thing to have. And I think it's something that would be better placed at the 8 than the 6. Because when you have Zubimendi behind the midfield, in front of the defenders, then you stop that passing. You stop that, that split and pass. You stop that outside the box shot. You don't get forward. And I feel like they're asked to do roles that they're not great at. And it's causing us to be not fluid in midfield and not progressive. We don't do anything, right? And AJ says Rice is so tired, but again, Zubimendi, he won't play NordVPN. Bro, Norgard had to have done something, or he's shown Mikel Arteta something that he believes that he can't play. And there's no reason why Norgard shouldn't be playing some minutes. There's no reason why you can't drag off. I mean, this manager loves like for likes, but he won't drag off Zubimendi or Rice for Norgard. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, AJ, it's mad. Yep, same for me. Rice is a 6. Exactly. It's simple. Rice is a world-class 6, not good enough in the 8. And Zubimendi is a good 8, who's not great in the 6. Yeah. Zubimendi must play 8. Yep. Zubimendi is more of a 10 or 8. Everyone can figure this out except for our manager who makes £15 million a year. He said, I would actually try as a 6, as in the 8, and Zubi in the 10. Well, Prom, I would try that, but he doesn't have legs. And that's what AJ kind of says. Zubi at the 10 whatsoever. 8, I fully agree with. And we're going to talk about our midfield, because at this point, I think that we could play me in midfield, and I'd probably get more progressive passes than the next guy we're talking about. But Rice and Zubameni for me, I would give them 5s. I don't think they did anything that's great, but as I said, we kept the clean sheet, and there wasn't anything to kind of be upset about. So I would take that. All right, guys. If you like the manager and you like the captain, please find another channel, or please pause, or return to me in about 10 minutes, okay? This man right here. This man right here. You guys see him. You guys see him. Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard. Brother. Hermano. Fam. 1. He gets a 1. And that's me being nice. That's because he came on the pitch and played. He gets a 1 from me. This guy is so frustrating. This guy annoys me to no end. Right? Big up everybody who just popped in. Odapu, -5. Yeah, bro. I'll give him 1 just for playing. Big up Social. Thank you for stopping by. Yep. What does he do if Zubamendi or Rice doesn't last remaining games? We saw Lewis Skelly there, so maybe. I'll say it again. Our best midfield 3 is Rice, MLS, and Eza. You'll never see it. Bigging up Social. Sabotaging Gyökeres, that's clear. Oh, we'll get into it. Excuse me. Stick around, Social. We're going to get into it, bro. Because I'm about to go in on this captain. This captain, bro. I fully agree. Same for me, and he's finished. Chrome says, listen to me. He gets a 1.0, right? This guy, Martin Odegaard, is so frustrating to watch. And this is what I said at the beginning. I said, I like going to matches because I can pinpoint on a player. One thing that Martin Odegaard does that I don't know what it is. He cannot see the basic pass. He is so afraid to make the basic pass. There was a breakaway coming toward the North Bank where he's got one defender on him. Gyökeres is running free to his left. This fool, instead of just laying it to Gyökeres, allowing him to cut in, and maybe he can get the ball back to get a pass, he cuts in and proceeds to lose the ball. And Gyökeres looks at him and is pointing like this. And I said, I now know that Martin Odegaard hates Victor Gyökeres. He has to. That's not the first time we've seen it this season, and it won't be the last. This guy refuses to make the easy pass. And let's not forget, in the first half, he has Kai Havertz running the same route, and he doesn't give it to him until late. He takes 47 touches, and we actually don't get a shot in on goal. This guy is our creator. He is our captain, and he did nothing. He had one tame shot that I could have shot, I could have saved. Bro, Martin Odegaard, for me, he gets a 1.0. Please, at the end of the season, even if we keep this manager, I want to see the back of Martin Odegaard. I don't want him to the captain's armband. I don't want him to see. I don't want to see him in a red jersey. The people around me telling me his greatest asset is leading the press. Our number 10's greatest asset is leading the press. Bro. I'm finished, bro. I'm through with this guy, right? And I said I'd be positive, and I'm trying to be positive. But when you watch him, he's so afraid. Bro, there are times where Newcastle literally opened up. And the guy next to me, the guy that I come with, he said, Odegaard, just run into space. Just run straight into space. No, let's take 16 touches, allow them to close the space, then pass it to someone else. Or take a tank. Bro, Martin Odegaard, you get a 1. And you should be lucky you got that. You get a 1 because you put on your shirt and you put on the captain's armband. That's it. Worst, bro. Martin Odegaard is so frustrating. And he's frustrating for me because I know that there's a player in there. I know we saw him in 22-23. We saw him in 23-24. That man was unplayable. Unplayable. What has happened? The baby? Is he waiting for the World Cup? What is wrong with Martin Odegaard? Why? And bro, the tiki-taka backwards does my head in. Why is this guy standing next to Gabriel? Why is he standing next to Salih? You are our number 10. Piero Incapia is farther forward than you. Our number 10, bro. And yeah, we won. I get that. But people are telling me that Odegaard has this talent. We ain't seen it in 18 months. It's nearly 2 years since we saw that Martin Odegaard. Bro, we're still waiting on this guy to produce something, bro. At some point, we got to just put our hands up and say, you know what? It's over. It's over. It's over, bro. So, yeah, Martin Odegaard gets one. I apologize. It was so frustrating for me because yesterday was an opportunity for us to put some pressure, actual pressure. Yes, we got the 3 points, but we know that we're behind them in goal difference, right? Not goal difference, goal scored. So not only could we boost our goal difference, but we could also equal them in goal scored or surpass them. And instead, our captain wants to pass the ball sideways and backwards. Our number 10, our creator. Nah, bro, 1. He gets a 1. And he should be glad he don't get a 0. I'm being nice, right? Odegaard is the most subbed off captain in Prem history. He's the most subbed off captain in Arsenal history. Yeah, bro. Would they have subbed off Vieira? Would they have subbed off Tony Adams when they needed? You know, would you sub off Vieira when you need a goal? You're trying to hold a lead. Would you sub off Tony? No, you don't. But every time we need something, every time this man Odegaard did the S-scoop, missed the front guys, then got the through on goal. He squared the Zubi, the chance. Yeah, bro. Yep. I'm tired of it, bro. He's not my. He says, AJ says he's not my captain. Prom says that's mad to me. Leading the press. Yeah, bro. Leading the press. He's a press leader. And you know what? You know what frustrates me as well. He runs up to them just to make them pass the ball away. When was the last time you saw Martin Odegaard put in a challenge? When is the last time you saw this man actually stick a foot in the 50-50? I'll wait. That's our captain, though, guys. If Arteta stays, Odegaard stays. Sadly, that simple. Hey, bro, I already told you. This will be Siempre Sevilla, right? We gonna start that next year. Hopefully, if they still in La Liga, but we'll talk about that later as well. And Rome says, I feel you, bro. I'm hurting. I'm hurting having to watch that. 22-23 was a fluke. 23-24, he wasn't actually good at all, in my opinion. 22-23 was a fluke. None of them can replicate those numbers. Well, yeah, not playing Arteta ball, but, you know, we'll see. We need goals on Arteta defense. Just give them City to Prem now. I'm not conceding yet. There's still a lot of football to be played, but I'm not conceding yet. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, we need goals on Arteta defense. Just give City the Prem now. And like I said, I'm not going to concede. I still think there's a lot of football to be played. And I said I was going to be positive to the end. I'm enjoying these last 4 games for what they are. Well, these last 6 games or 7, if we get to the Champions League final. But I'm going to be positive, man. Like I said, we either win a big trophy or we win a new manager. And if we don't win a new manager, then, bro, I'm going to still follow Arsenal. I keep saying I won't follow Arsenal. I still say that, you know, but I think I'll be numb. I think I'll just go in. I'll go in kind of like how I feel when I watch Saints or Pompey. You're just going to have a good time. Like you don't think we're winning anything. You're just going to have a good time. And that's where I will get with Arsenal. I'll still watch them. I can't stop watching Arsenal. But yeah, I'll feel good. I'll feel good watching it and not expect anything. I don't get this obsession with top gunners. I tell Odegaard, just move him on. The problem is that we are a sentimental bunch. We are very sentimental when it comes to players, when it comes to managers. The only thing we're not sentimental with is when it comes to fans. We don't care what happens to other fans, but we love Arteta. And, Edu, everybody blame Edu, and not everybody's blaming Berta, but we'll get on that in a minute as well. Even Gyökeres getting 18 goals, Arteta ball is some kind of. We're gonna talk about him in a minute as well, because he ain't getting a high rating. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Social says we're just not a good team on the ball offensively. They do not train offense. It's clear. Yeah, bro. We when we counterattack, and we're gonna talk about it in a minute, because when we give that Gyökeres rating, I'm gonna talk about that. But when we counterattack, trash, bro. We don't know which way to go. And Odegaard is the leader of not knowing the right pass. DG says, Gooner Rican, we ain't winning anything in the Prem playing like this. Arteta out. I hear you, man. And like I said, the rational part of me says that you're right and we ain't winning nothing. But the delusion says there's still hope. Let's talk about our attack. Nani Madueke. I call him No Madueke because his ball skills are just a no, bro. Nani Madueke gets a 4 from me. All that guy does is run fast. I can't think of anything else that he does particularly well. And it's fun, bro. It's funny. I say things right to my mate who goes, and he's fairly positive. He's not delusional, but he's fairly positive. And when I say, look at this player, look at what this player does, I just say, just watch them. And even he was like, Nani Madueke, that guy gets in front of goal and doesn't know what to do. And I said, exactly. He's Space Jam. All of his talent goes in front of goal. That guy turns it talentless. He's awful, bro. And people still trying to convince me that he's cool because he wears a headband and he runs fast. You know what I'm saying? Big up Shane in the house, the legend that is Shane Gooner. I always got time for Shane. I talk about him frequently on here. One of the first people to get me on the channel. So big up to Shane. But Nani Madueke, bro. Everyone, I had people in the group chat telling me, "Oh, Nani, he's been decent this season." The man's got 1 goal and 2 assists. We've played 34 games, 1 goal and 2 assists in 34 games, and people trying to tell me that he's been great, bro. Stop it, trash, garbage. Get him out of the club too. Listen here, all right? I'm gonna look in the camera when I say this. If we don't win anything this season, and we keep Arteta, right? We keep Arteta. If we are linked with anyone from Chelsea, bro, we doing siempre Sevilla for the rest of the year, bro. I can't. If we're linked with Garnacho, if we're linked with Gittins, if we're linked with Mudryk, if we get anyone from Chelsea, bro, I will lose the channel. The channel has to go up for sale. I sell it to the highest bidder for £2. I cannot do it, bro. I can't do it. I'm tired of Chelsea rejects, bro. They bring nothing. They bring nothing to this club. The last few Chelsea rejects we've gotten have brought nothing. Jorginho, Willian, Kepa, Havertz, bro, I don't want to see any more Chelsea. Please, no. I don't want to see any more Chelsea players. I don't want it. So, no. Not matter what, if he gets a 4 from me, just for running, I think. Where was I? Big up Shane. Shane with the salute, DG. The thing is with our defenders, and if price was 6, we would let the striker make one of the wingers stay up for faster transition. We need a new manager for our mental health sake. Yeah, man. We'll talk about it. Once I'm doing the player ratings, we have to have some conversations about some people, man. Big up to Shane. We don't need all this tracking back. Bro, Martinelli is the best defensive winger in the league. That guy defends, and I watched him. He will run back and help defend. He runs his socks off, and that's probably why he hasn't been that great at anything else. He's too busy running back and saving us because he's one of the pacier guys we got left, and his hamstrings aren't on toast yet. Yeah, Madueke is basura, or garbaje, or mierda, if you will. Big up Prom. I mean, it's okay to trap back sometime, but the whole whole game, this man is doing me in. He was doing me 4K, bro. 4K, I had to watch it. I swear Arteta's still here next season. I'm getting to the Emirates with a Bali and eggs. With a Bali and eggs. Bro, the Bali and start egging and stuff. It's all right, though. The balaclava. 8 Chelsea players in Arteta's reign as manager. It's mad to me. Bro, I'm starting to think we owe Chelsea some money. Like, you can't tell me the type of players we bought. Bro, like, do we buy from United? Do we ever buy from Liverpool? Like, why Chelsea? Why is it always Chelsea? Because they lived in London? Is that it? You know, or I mean, I don't want none of Tottenham's players, to be fair, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why is it always Chelsea? I don't get it. I don't understand. But yeah, I don't get it. Madueke gets a 4. Ebrecht Eze, that man is my man of the match. He will get a 6 from me. No, he got a 7. He'll get a 7. He will get a 7. He'll get a 7 from me. He's the man of the match. That goal was fantastic. Corner, Havertz, Eze, beauty. I nearly lost my voice. I couldn't believe it. Beautiful. And that's what he brings. Eze also drives forward. Right? He shouldn't be at left wing. He should be right where he was, at the left 8. If we're going to play Odegaard, this is my thing. Why do we need 2 defensive midfielders? Put one back there, have Eze, have Odegaard, because Odegaard played like a defensive midfielder anyway. And then you put, you can even put Martinelli out there and allow them to attack. But broski. But yeah, Eze gets a 7 for me. He came off. Hopefully it's a precaution. I don't think it was injury. He came off pretty quickly. And he walked off under his own power. I hope he's good. Because he's our main bit of creativity. And as soon as he came off, we saw that we were suffering. Because our captain, Martin Odegaard, doesn't like passing the ball forward. So that's what we saw. So Eze gets a 7 for me. Kai Havertz, that guy gets a 6, and I'll give him a 6, 1 for the assist. But I also give him an assist because I can't believe I'm going to say this. When Kai Havertz came off, we lost our ability to move. Kai Havertz's movement, and I've always said this, right? We got the 3 stooges of strikers, right? We got the 3 stooges, or what you call it, the lion, the scarecrow, and the 10-man. Right? That's what we have for strikers, right? You got Kai Havertz, who has no pace, can barely finish, but he can move. You got Gyökeres, who has, he has a little bit of pace, but he has no pace, no movement, but he can finish. And then you've got Gabriel Jesus, who's got all the pace, and his finishing ain't great, right? If you gave me a striker with Jesus' pace, Gyökeres' finishing, and Havertz hold up and movement, bro, we would be walking the league right now. But I heard people behind me saying, Marino, we miss Marino, and I can say one thing: Marino does have movement. He's not the paciest, but he also knows how to finish. How many goals last year that Marino finished for us? And you were just like, where did this come from? Marino's a finisher, and I think we missed that because none of these guys can finish, and none of these guys really get chances. But Kai Havertz gets a 6 for the assist. And Eze is my man in the match. Now, let's talk about the substitutes, the ones that I can remember. Gabriel Martinelli, best defensive winger in the league, gets a 4. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I thought he had an opportunity in midfield that he really didn't take. I think he should have. Prom says S is a wonderful 8. We desperately need a number 10 player. Yes, we do. And he says, I want to play 4-1-4-1. We'll never see it, bro. We'll never see it, unfortunately. Not under this manager. All we know is the 4-2-3-1 with the 2 fridges in the back, man. I'm sorry. We've seen a semi change where Eza, instead of playing left wing, he comes in. But essentially, we don't have anything on the left-hand side because he's coming inside to kind of play left 8, and there's no left winger. So you essentially got the 2 fridges, and then, Eza left 8, Odegaard right 8, and then you've got, Nono Madueke and Kai Havertz. So, Shai Havertz, this guy's garbage. Send this dude back to Germany. Yeah, I don't think they want him. I hope they take him. To be fair, MLS is a mat fit, in my opinion. Yeah, I'll give him a 4. I thought he didn't do too bad. I'll give him a 5. And I thought he didn't do too badly, but I also thought that he didn't really do too much. And like you said, he doesn't have that much match time. So yeah. Yeah, I'll give him a 5. Lewis-Skelly gets a 5. Martinelli gets a 5. Bukayo Saka came on, and I got Saka's kit, as you guys can see. Bukayo Saka, for me, gets a 5. But I will say this about Bukayo. When he came on, he definitely gives us something different. He gives us something different on the right wing. And it makes me sad because I think if Bukayo Saka was 100% fit at this stage of the season, if we had actually, if we had allowed him to recover and rest and put Nani out there and then said, all right, Bukayo, last 5-7 matches, we'll put you out there. You go insane. Then I think we'd have got something. But he doesn't look 100% fit. Even not looking 100% fit, he brought some pace and electricity to the match, and I'll give him a 5. We are going to see more of Bukayo Saka, but it's quite visible that when he comes on, he brings something. And I've been saying that we've overplayed him, and I hope that he's not done for. We need that guy. He's predictable, but he's electric, and he's something that we need. So I'll give him a 5. And I'll read some of your comments, because if you guys thought Martin Odegaard was bad, then you're not going to want to hear Victor Gyökeres. 29 strolls around the pitch like he's some baller. He's a crabby striker. Arsenal's ever not trash. He's not even really a striker. He's supposed to be a midfielder, and we placed him at the striker because he's so bad at midfield. He isn't getting enough game time for me to really rate him. MLS, yeah, I'll give him a 5. I don't want to be too harsh because, coming on with 10 and 15 minutes, it's not enough. But yes, how is that a chance for MLS when he's not allowed to go forward? When he's not allowed to go forward and he's not allowed to he's not given meaningful minutes to actually get a run into the team. He's a pretty decent ball carrier. He said, true, AJ. MLS proved he was good enough last season when he saved Arteta, but then Arteta wants to use his favorites. Yeah. So MLS was good enough last season, and now guess what? He's on the bench, and Wanyeri's in France chilling. So yeah. I watched Coventry. Their striker Haji Wright is better than Havertz, a championship striker. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can find quite a bit, to be honest. GG. Kai Havertz isn't that great a striker. It's not his best attribute. As for Eze, he's more than good enough for the 10, just not under Arteta. And we talked about this, right? Eze is a moments player. Eze is a player that He's not. He shouldn't be pressing. He shouldn't be doing all this walking. He shouldn't be doing all this crazy stuff. He should be creating, and we want him to do. We got him at left wing, bro. He ain't tracking back. He's not going to track back and then not be able to move forward. So that's where he is. So as of for me, he's not being utilized. But none of our midfielders is being utilized where they're great, and we said that earlier in the thing. So big up. Prom says that's fair, AJ. Latvian Gooner, thank you, Latvian Gooner. I appreciate it. Apologize for recording. While you're on, I didn't know. It's just when I was free. Listen, I'm on loan right now, right? I told you guys that my wife is on the phone with my mother-in-law, which means that I got a couple of hours because they will be yapping for a couple of hours. And I had to ask her, I said, hey, listen, I didn't do my match review. Can I do that? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to go talk to my mom. So I'm on loan. I'm on loan right now. I shouldn't be here. I'm on loan. So I appreciate anyone who comes over and watches. Right? So big up to Latvian. As for Saki, he's finished. He's finished by Arteta and Southgate. Yeah. Southgate flogged him as well. Latvian Gooner Ray, thank you so much, Latvian Gooner. Appreciate it. Social says we don't have bad players. We have players poorly coached. Yes and no, Social. Like Martinelli, I think is done for. Trossard, I think is done for. Havertz and Madueke, I think are done for. Like, I don't think they're that great. But I think the rest, our defenders, good enough. Our midfield, Odegaard as well. Oh, that guy, Odegaard, please, back to wherever you need to go to get out the club. Prom says he can play as an 8 and a 10. Latvian Gunnar, once again, thank you, Latvian Gunnar. I appreciate it. And sub to him. Make sure you sub to him if you're not already. And if you guys are new to the channel and you're watching, make sure you sub to me. We're 13 away from the big 500. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Big up Latvian, welcome in Latvian Gunnar. Welcome, yes, please welcome to the community. Welcome in Raiders, please like and subscribe. Big up to Prom. Big up Gooner Rican TV in the chat. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I can't read. And I'm supposed to be doing a reading show. It's diabolical. But yeah, good evening. From Hendo. Big up Hendo. Big up Hendo. And big up Quadra again. And big up to Sean. I don't think I've seen you before. I don't know. I'm not sure. But thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. 13 likes so far. AJ DeMott. Saka needs 6 months off because everything, sadly, he will never get. Yeah. They're about to go play the World Cup. And I don't know if you guys know, this is the thing that people don't understand about World Cup. It's not like Europe, bro. America is vast, and that traveling gets to you. Like, that traveling gets to you, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be traveling from Miami to California, and that's some hours, bro. And those are out. So he's gonna be on a plane. He's gonna be playing. They're gonna flog him, and you kind of expect England to at least get to the quarterfinals. You know, so he's gonna be going back, bro. Then these guys are gonna come back next season, shattered from this season, shattered from the World Cup, and we expect them to compete again. Listen, I want all you guys, and this is not me being negative. I want all you guys, even if we get a new manager, I want you to prepare for a top 4 battle next season. I don't think we will compete. These guys are tired. These guys are exhausted. You can see it. Bro, you saw it after the match was over. They're all falling on the ground. They're exhausted. And now they're going to go to the World Cup and be even more exhausted. Yeah, bro. Good luck to next season for us. Big up to E. Ross, the boss. Rose, that's my nickname. But yeah. Big up Sean. Big up Gooner Rican. Love from LA. Hey, LA. Man, you it's early for you then, LA. What time is it? Let's see. 9:15, 4:15. What is it, like 1:15 in the afternoon? Am I right? 1:15? I'm doing it off the top of my head, I think. Yep. Big up to Shane. I'm pretty sure everybody here does already. Welcome to everyone who rated. Thank you. Manners and hospitality. Havertz is another one that looks busy, but nothing actually happened. He runs around, jumps for headers, but actually plays isn't much. Newcastle won all the long ball, so what's the point? We don't really have anybody that's great in the air, bro. we know what we have. We know what we have, and it's not going to change. This is why I said for these last 4 matches, I'm gonna be positive because I get myself worked up. And our manager's not going to change his tactic. Our players aren't going to change their ways. We just got what we got, and I'm hoping And I always say, bro, I don't sit here hoping that City drop points. I don't like to look at other teams and what they're doing. However, now we have to because I just don't think our team has what it takes to just put teams away. So we have to hope on us to win and hope that City. All City has to do is drop 1 game. If we win all of our games and City drop 1 game, we're champions without us even having played well. But what do we do? Odegaard's done for. Man like Gooner Rican TV, bro. Man like Gooner Rican TV, bro. Big up, Quadra. Sean says, I'm half Norwegian and I don't rate no Odegaard at all. That's interesting. That's interesting. And I always wanted to talk to people who are Norwegian and see, like, do you guys think that I keep saying Norgard. Norgard's in my brain because that guy just doesn't play and I feel so bad for him. But Odegaard, like, do you guys think that Odegaard is this, like, good player, like, it for Norway? Do you think that he's, better for his country? I'd like to ask you that question. So, Sean, if you're still in, bro, let me know. Let me know what you guys think about Odegaard as a general kind of Norwegian fan. Watch all our players go to the World Cup and cook. You're going to look around confused, and it's simply because the Brit coach trying to control all the actions. And we will talk about that in a minute. Let me get through some of these comments. I'm going to start the comments in a minute, but I'm big up to some of the people that came in. Big up Prone. Big up Jack. Yep, smash that like. Smash that like, and if you're new here, please smash that subscribe. I'm here all the time. Even his academy didn't want Odegaard. Big up Max Payne. I think it's the first time seeing you as well, or long time no see. Who knows? But big up. They said it's supposed to be a reading show. I can't read. Yeah, bro. I'm supposed to be reading a book, man. And I can't even get my words out. It's crazy. But big up Eros. Respect. World Cup is in Mexico to the US. Yeah, bro. The World Cup is everywhere. Like, them flights is long, bro. People think that it's kind of like Europe where for me, where I am in England, for me in London, I can get to Spain in an hour and a half, on the plane, being in a different country. Bro, you could fly from North Carolina to Florida and still be in the air for 2 hours, bro. Now, that's not even mentioning flying from Miami to LA or flying from Vancouver to Mexico City. Bro, these guys gonna be gassed, bro, but it's all right. He said exactly, bro. LA to New York City, 5 hours. Bro, these long flights, man. And they're not thinking about that. So these guys are gonna go and be tired and then come back to us, bro. It's gonna be exhausting. All right, let me start a chat here. Wait, no, I'll start a chat, Sean. Exactly, bro. Next season was gonna be a struggle anyway, Social said. Odegaard said he was tired and he hardly plays. That's because his baby keeps him up, bro. That's what it is. The child rearing is, and he said 115, so I was on the money. Big up. I'll start there because you guys are coming in quick and fast. All right, let's get on the last player rating, and I'll get back into your comments. I'm looking to the camera. Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres gets a 2. And the reason he gets a 2, that guy's touch is criminal. But I could get over his touch. What I can't get over was that breakaway headed toward the North Bank. He has 2 guys on the side of him. He's got 2 guys running alongside him. He's got a defender him. All he has to do is pass the ball to the right. And we are in on goal. It's 2-0. My arm's swinging and everything. And the game is over. This guy literally passes the ball right into the defender. And it goes nowhere. Broski, I'm so glad that I don't record and I can't record myself while during the match, because I think that my head would have exploded. I'd have lost the channel. There would have been infringements left and right. I was livid. How do you not score there? You could literally slow down and then square the ball, and we still could have got in. You've passed the ball to the one place where there's a defender. And then you're complaining, broski. Victor Gyökeres, I'm only talking about this match. I still rate him. People still think that he's trash. Some people think he's trash. You get a 2, bro, just for that. Just for that. You start out at a 5. Your touch was criminal. You get a 2, broski. You get a 2. It was it. The touch was just diabolical, and that decision making was even more diabolical. And I'll give you a 3 because you should have been passed to. No, I'll give you a 2 again. I'm sorry. It's going to be a 2 because even if he had passed to you, I think you probably would have tripped over your own feet at this point. 250 Gyökeres. And that's the match race. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Oh, the manager, Mikel Arteta for me. I give him a 5 as well. I don't think it was terrible. I just don't think it was great. I think that we had an opportunity to put more goals on the board. And instead of doing that, we went same old. But I don't think that's a product of the team that he picked. I think that's a product of his coaching and us being – bro, our attack is flaccid. That's all I'm going to say. It's flaccid. And that's on Mikel Arteta. So he gets a 4. I said 5, but he gets a 4. Well, no, he gets a 5 because we won. He gets a 5 because we won. Standard 5. Mikel Arteta gets a 5. That's it. That's enough of that. I'm tired of that. Back to the comments because that's what I like. All right. So, yeah. Back to the comments. We got it. Yeah. I'm going to talk about the game in a bit. But, yeah, overall, I'm happy that we won. As I said, 3 points on the board is better than a game in hand, in my opinion. But we had an opportunity to score more goals, and we just didn't. But you can't cry over spilled milk. You just got to keep going. So, big up. Jack says, Odegaard is the king of activity without accomplishment. So is Kai Havertz. They're both good at it. I mean, God bless his soul, but I want us to move Odegaard. He ain't it, bro. Please go. He said he played 90. He said he played 90 minutes and complaining. Yeah, bro. You ain't done nothing. Passing the ball sideways. I could have done that. And I'm shaped like an Oompa Loompa, bro. It's embarrassing. We shouldn't be playing long ball football anyway. Raya did 45 long balls, not even Sunday goalies. Bro, this is the thing, though, Social. He can't pass the ball. He can't pass the ball short because there's nobody in our team that will turn. I watched it. We watched it. There's nobody in the team that will just take the ball, turn, and start going. No one would do that, right? Unless they're a defender. There are times where the ball went into Zubimendi or the ball went into Odegaard, and I'm just saying, turn around. All you have to do is turn around, and then we might have a chance to get an attack moving. No, let's take the ball and kick it back to a defender, bro. It's what else? And then when we start doing that ticky tack at the back, Raya's under pressure, and we lose the ball, and now he's having to save a goal. So it's not just on him. It's our midfield is questionable because they're not in the right positions and they're not confident. Sean said, we did this to ourselves like last season when the league should have been done and dusted weeks ago. I think the league could have been done and dusted a month and a half ago, to be honest. It could have been over further than that. Like, I think that the league should have been over at the end of March. We shouldn't even have been thinking about April. It should have just been like, bro, we'll win a couple games, lose a city. Who cares? There you go. Prom said, yeah, just get rid of Odegaard. Everybody wants to get rid of Odegaard. Nicholas Pepe with a goal for Villarreal. Bring him back instead of English Gervinho. Bro, everybody was telling me how trash Pepe was. Bro, I remember Nicholas Pepe goals. What amazing goals do you remember in Nani Madueke? Yeah. Prom says, no, Arteta did that to it. Yes, he did. Odegaard is the captain of Norway. Yeah. Prom says, we're trying to get Rican to 500. Please share this out in the social. Yes, and if you guys are new, if it's the first time I'm seeing you, just hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's free. And then after you watch a couple videos, you ain't got to worry about it. If you don't watch me, it's fine. But it helps out, though. I appreciate it. Plus, we got a great community. We got a great community of guys who come and hang around. So, you know, if you like to talk about stuff, not just football, this is the place for you. And I waffle if you like waffle. Eros said, I'll be honest, Gooner Rican, Odegaard's overstayed his welcome. He needs to go. I tell you guys all the time, when we bought this guy, I have his kit hanging in the closet. I've got his kit. That lime green with the black wavy line. I have that kit. I was gassed when we got him. But it's worn off. The novelty is worn off. I need to see more from Martin Odegaard. And I'm just not seeing it. And now he's coming out saying he's tired and exhausted. Bro, you ain't done nothing. You tired from what? Going sideways and backwards? Come on, bro. Sean says, Odegaard so crap. Give me the players from Bodo Glimp over this fraud. Bro, I can name about 10 players that I'd probably take over him. You know, imagine if we had been proactive and got Ryan Cherky to fill in for Odegaard. This is why Arsenal always behind, because we're never proactive. We're always reactive. And, you know, we spend our money on it. You know, instead of spending our money wisely, getting a young player to deputize for Saka, we going to spend $50 million on Nani Madueke to be a backup. Oh, actually, he's supposed to be our left winger, but he was crap there, so now he's a backup. Bodo Glimt players will reject Mikel's training methods. Yes, they would. They'd probably tell them to go do one. I'm talking about from our Norwegian team at the World Cup. No way. Gyökeres screwed up that goal scoring opportunity. Martinelli and Saka, right? Bro, they're running, busting the gut, and this man could not even pass the ball. He can't, bro. And of course, Jack says he can't dribble. Bro, I said that he is the Swedish Lukaku, bro. He is the Swedish Lukaku, bro. Victor Gyökeres. That's what he is. Gyökeres. And that's probably disrespectful to Romelu Lukaku. It's that tap-ins and penalties, that's all. Yeah, it seems that way. And, bro, my boy Brian, who hops in the chat, bro, that's what he said. He says that Vic Gyökeres is trash. And Prom says Vic Gyökeres gets surpassed me. He ain't doing a lot of mistakes game by game. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, Prom. And I agree. His touch is criminal, but he's adjusting to the league. But also, he's not in a system that actually benefits him. He's not in a system that's helping, right? He's not being helped by the way that we play football. You know, you've got Odegaard running into space, and instead of just giving the easy pass to him, let's pass the ball sideways. Let's pass it backwards. That ain't great, bro. It's not great. So he's partially to blame, but then again, in my mind, it's like you can't just place it at his feet. If we get a new manager, I'd like to see Gyökeres under a new manager for another year. And if he's still Lukaku, then we need to bend him like, you know, Liverpool did. Chaos. What's his name? Darwin Nunez, right? Darwin Nunez. He wasn't good enough. They said, all right, boy, on your bike. Thank you. See you again. So, yeah. Sean said, we knew this when we bought Gyökeres, expecting him to link up plays like expecting a horse to produce milk. Yeah, I mean, he's not great at the link. His touch is crazy. But we need an Eza to actually feed. And this is what I thought, right? This is my thought process when we signed Eberechi Eza. Mateta is good at linking up, but Mateta is kind of like, he's a big lumbering guy. He's not the greatest, you know, finisher. He's not the greatest at dribbling. But if he's given space, if he's put in a good opportunity to run, then he can do it. So my thought was, we got Eberechi Eza. We can play him next to Odegaard if we have to. And then Eza will kind of find the channels that he can go into and get shots off. We ain't seen that because Eza can barely get kicked. Every time Eza has a good performance, we don't see him anymore. Odegaard won't pass to him because he hates him. And then, of course, you got Zoumini and Rice. You're expecting Zoumini and Rice to have, profound thread through pass. Like, nah, bro, it's not happening. So, yeah. I give Arteta 6 because he tried the short corners with work. That's new for him. Bro, Jack, they were booing the short corners until we scored one. That's all I want to say. They were booing the short corners. And even after we scored one, they were still booing them. Excuse me. Like, people weren't happy with doing short corners. Because they weren't working. One worked because Eza just put his foot through it and said, F it, we ain't gonna pass sideways. I'm just gonna shoot. But other than that, they weren't great. So yeah, I wouldn't give him a high rating for doing that. I don't think they were amazing. Prom says he gets 0 from me by default. Yeah, I don't blame you. Fair enough. Makes sense. Having Bodo players in Norway team, they know each other. Odegaard missed most of the season to be well rested and ready to play full strength. He had a baby though, so that keeps him up. And those short corners are really Yover's plays. Can Mikel take that credit? No. But you know what? We don't see that guy anymore. Yover. Jack says, Mickey, I saw your clip after the game. You walked past the army without even looking in. I did go in, but I didn't buy anything. I went in to look for one of those the program holders. That's what I went in there for. My mate was like, "Oh, you finna go buy something?" I was like, "Nah," but I need a program holder because, as you guys saw at the last one, mine was too full. So I was trying to get one to put my programs in, and they were sold out. So I was like, "Do you have any program holders?" Nope. I was like, "Cool, I'm out. Thanks." That's all I came in here for. Yeah. But Wenger got us some ballers, man. This Friday, what does he give us? Chelsea rejects. I'm not gonna swear, but what the F is going on here? We owe them some money, but we have to owe them guys some money. We have to owe those guys. You can't tell me we don't owe Chelsea money from something way back when, because there's no reason why we should keep buying their rejects, bro. I get because they're London and it's close, but nah, fam, you can't tell me that Chelsea's got something on us. Big up, Chris. Thank you for stopping by. Liverpool fan. Welcome back to the community. Sean says 55 for Mattaway and 35 for Turkey is criminal. Then we send one of our most creative play. That's the bit I don't understand, Sean. The fact that we know that Saka has become injury prone. We know that Odegaard has become injury prone. We know that there haven't been firing, and the one person that we have that can actually replace both of those positions, we sent on loan to go help Marseille. And now we have to rely on a 16-year-old to do that. And now we don't even play that dude. So, yeah, bro. I don't understand. I don't understand what the club were thinking. But, yeah, man. Mikel Arteta. He's exactly what we need, apparently. You're tired of Villa. Spot on. It's missed opportunity to score more, especially after you score early. It was so predictable. I got my prediction spot on. And, yeah, man. We had an opportunity to go 2 or 3 goals above, and improve our goals for ratio. Like I said, I never felt like Newcastle were going to give us much problem. Even when they made the changes, they and awed a little bit, but I never felt like they would score. I mean, maybe they would score on a set piece, maybe, but I didn't feel too kind of crazy. And then when we had our breakaways, I was like, surely we can get 2 or 3 goals. And no, Victor Gyökeres can actually score to, push the ball to anyone. And of course, Martin Odegaard, he refuses to pass the ball forward, especially when it's to a striker. So, yeah. Eze and Gyökeres are good players, just not under this manager. I mean, that guy's a Liverpool fan, and he's saying basically what we're saying. But there are people that don't kind of understand that. So, big up, Chris. Prom said facts. Marty's only one EPL goal. Trossard has no goals in 2026. Players of the talent should not be on this level of goals. Listen, you know what's crazy to me? The fact that no one made a big deal of the fact that no player last year scored over 10 goals for the first time in like 130 years. No one said anything. No one made mention It was over 100. It might not have been 130. It was over 100 years. No one made mention. No one beat this guy over the head for the fact that for the first time in over 100 years, no Arsenal player scored 10 goals. And then when these guys aren't firing, people aren't blaming the manager. I don't understand that. These guys aren't firing. We're not getting anything. And they're saying everything is rosy in the garden. And it's like, bro, for the first time in 100 years, we ain't scored. No player scored 10 goals. It is a testament to Vic Gyökeres with the criminal touch he has that he's actually managed 17, 18 goals. Imagine if we could improve some of his link-up play. We can improve some of the chances he get. He'd probably be one of the Golden Boot players. I mean, not with Holland in the league, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Chris said, trust me, I know Nunez is a Liverpool fan. The man was a left winger at Benfica. We played him as striker, was useless at striker. Yeah, he was chaos. I actually like Darwin Nunez. I thought that he was just chaos embodied. You know what? He is chaos embodied, and I think you need a player like that. We don't have a player like that. We don't have a player that causes chaos. We have the space invader, Kai Havertz. That's what we have. Prom said Gyökeres is supposed to be on the end of the goal. You know what? Yeah, he is. He's supposed to be the target man. But we ain't even doing that. You know what I'm saying? He's having to drop. Odegaard's in there patty caking and high-fiving Gabriel and Saliba. You know what I'm saying? So I'm tired, bro. The players around supposed to do the fancy work, and he scores on the end of it. Yep, we haven't figured that out. 6 years, guys. 6 years. He hasn't figured it out. Social said, brother, all of our players are good players, not his coach. All the attacks we brought in played nothing like they did at the previous club. That's no coincidence. That's true, but I still think Anani Madueke is garbage, and I don't rate Kai Havertz. But I hear what you're saying. I hear and accept what you're saying, and I think manager is to blame. He's the main culprit. But like I said, I will talk in a minute about. Oh no, my thing came out. Sadness. I gotta put that back in. But I will talk in a minute about a conversation I had with some people after the game. Sean said we could have had an attacking lineup with Gyökeres, Semenyo, Kvara, Ezra, and Turkey if we did real business, not including the fact that Lookman was available too. Lookman apparently had an attitude. Turkey probably had an attitude as well. Have you noticed that every time we're linked with somebody who's cheap, who could actually change our fortune, there's always something that comes out like they had an attitude, there's something, they had a bust up, whatever it is. Ivan Toney could have changed our fortunes, but he's got an attitude. You notice how you haven't heard that he had an attitude before that or after? Betting? Yeah, I get it. But attitude, no one said that until Arsenal said it. And we haven't heard it since. Just saying. Arteta get kicks back every time we buy from this like money line. It has to be. Calafiori injury prompt, bro. That guy is garbage, bro. Garbage. Go back. And I'm not saying he's talented, but he's got the best ability is availability, and he doesn't have it. And we were talking about Kieran Tierney was unavailable. Stop it, bro. I saw Coquelin, Frimpong, Denilson, Flamini bought the ball around better than Mikel's midfield. It's crazy. Bro, El Nini, when we first got here, he was moving the ball forward. I mean, even Mikel Arteta bought the ball a little bit better than what we see. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Our midfield is garbage, bro. Our not garbage. Let me say, they're exhausted, and our attack is exhausted as well and devoid of ideas. And this is what we get, man. Winning 1-0. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Ezra Nwaneri at a 10 is perfect depth and said he plays as a left wing and loves Odegaard and yeah, bro. Odegaard and Havertz. I will celebrate when they both leave the club. What fullback is not injury prone here? We signed Timber and became injury prone. Who doesn't become injury prone fullback? It ain't the players. And I agree, Social. But you know why? Because they're being asked to do attack work. They're being asked to do defense work. Our fullbacks and wingers are being asked to run more than the rest of our team. As I said, Martinelli, that guy ran from left wing all the way to fullback to stop an attack, bro. And we wonder why these hamstrings keep going. That's why, bro. They're doing too much running when we ain't got to. We need a new strength and conditioning coach and physio. Almost every single player except for Raya has been injured. We need a new manager. We need a new manager. That's it. Once we get a new manager, all the coaching staff will change, the regime will change, the training will change, and we'll see something different. But our championship window is running out, honestly. Gyökeres has 18 GA this season and scored more goals in his first with us than Martinelli's best 15 goals. Yeah. Which is great, bro. And this is what I'm saying. If we had an attack-minded manager with the defense we have, with the midfield we have, bro, we'd be running the gamut. We'd actually be going toe-to-toe with Man City. But this guy is so afraid to concede. He's so afraid to concede not only goals, but he's so afraid to concede possession. He's so afraid to concede control that we just don't end up doing it. The players look confused when we start going forward. Like they don't know which way to go. And that's from overcoach. And he doesn't sit down. This guy talk like you, bro. I watched one time and Eddie Howe is going to sit down. His assistant is saying something. Eddie Howe is kind of sitting on the bench. And then he goes up to his assistant. They have a conversation. And then the assistant goes sit down. Or he's sitting, at the touchline kind of watching things. But he ain't barking at the players. This guy barks at the players. And then you got Heinz barking at the players. Then you got Yofa barking at the players. Like, bro, just so many people going, like, bro, just shut up and sit down. Like, the only thing that Yofa needs to do when there's a corner is bark out what, hey, we're doing routine 3, routine 4, whatever he's doing. That's what we're doing. And then he go and sit back down on the bench. No, these guys scream the entire time, bro. Hi, you're always doing something unexpected on the streams. I love it, bro. This is what I do, man. I always go left field, but I like my streams, man. I like my streams, man. I just be chilling. I talk Arsenal, but I just be chilling. But that's the joy of this community. That's the joy of being a part of this community, man. We just always have a good laugh, because you have to have a good laugh being an Arsenal fan. You have to have a sense of humor, because being an Arsenal fan is humorous. It's a joke sometimes, right? Dealing with some of the madness that we deal with on a daily. Ivan Toney just won the AFC Championship again, by the way. Yeah, but guess what? Wasn't good enough for Arsenal. Too much of an attitude. No, I think Ivan Toney would have come to you and be like, I ain't tracking back, bro. I'm a striker. We don't have any player at this club who would just say, boss, we ain't doing that. And I think Rice would be the only. If Rice said, I ain't doing that, what you gonna do? Bench Rice? If he benches Rice during the business end and it ain't an injury, bro, they would get him out of there. But these guys are all nice guys and they're happy to be here. They're being paid exorbitant wages. No one will speak up. Because I honestly think a lot of guys won't speak up because they know if a good manager comes in here, he like, bro, you on 265 on your bike, fella. Go somewhere. Jesus, why are you on 265? Go train with the under 12s. You know what I'm saying? Go, not under 12, under 21. Sorry. Like, he probably should have trained with the under 12. He garbage, bro. But yeah. Don't get me started on California. Oh my God, Italian stallion. Bro, my wife calls that guy Match Day handsome. She saw him because everybody's swooning over this guy. And she's like, I don't get what they see. And then she saw him on the match. She says, she's like, oh yeah, he is. He's kind of Match Day handsome. I was like, I've never heard that before. But she's like, yeah, when he's got the hair back and he's flicking, she's like, oh, he's handsome. But yeah, she's like regular. She's like, nah, he's not all that. But yeah, she's like, he's Match Day handsome. So I don't know what that means, but that's what she said. I'm just relaying the message. And exactly, Chris. Funny how it's the players that win things that have an attitude problem. Funny that players that have a history of winning and telling them and actually being big. But, you know, that's what I thought Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko was supposed to be. Who knows? Oh. We had the best left back in the league for how many years in Tierney? Did he use it? No, he couldn't invert. And I said this as well. I said that we could have kept Tierney on maybe a 2-year deal. Say, hey, listen, we're in a title race. I know that you're not good at inverting, but we might need something different. Would you be cool with being here for 2 years? You know, you'll play in the cups. You know, you'll play when I need a change, when I need a traditional left back to help Martinelli. 2 years, we'll bump your wages maybe £10,000. And, you know, if we win the title, then you can go. Why you can't do that? We giving Gabriel Jesus 165 or 265 to sit on the bench and do nothing. Why can't we give Kieran Tierney, you know, maybe 110,000 and say, listen, you'll be a bench player, but we're gonna need you. You and Norgard, we're gonna need you when things get tough. Nope, Benham. Goodbye. Go to Celtic. Trash. Calafiori is 100 times worse than Tierney. Yeah, we're playing MLS and Nkapia at left back because this guy can't stay fit. Odegaard was never a 10. He was always an 8. Yeah, and now he ain't good at that. This manager does my head in. Tierney and Gyökeres. This is the thing, Prone. Tierney and Gyökeres, but I also think Tierney and Trossard, Tierney and Martinelli would be better. We seen it. We saw it when Unai Emery and you know Freddie, like when they were playing like that, like those guys would link up and you saw a better Martinelli. You haven't seen that since because what happens is the left back inverts. Martinelli's got to do all the tracking back, going forward and back, and like you can't get into a rhythm if you're having to defend and attack and defend and attack, defend and attack because your left back has bombarded into the midfield and lost the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And that's a shout, Sean. He said, we're the only team that spent $1 billion to get worse year on year. No, apparently we had the best squad in the league. But, you know, we're still talking about the same offensive deficiencies that we had years ago. Yep, 1.3 billion. Even the set piece coach on a touch, like, yeah, bro, set piece. I saw Heinz get up and yelling, bro, just sit down. Just sit down. He's not afraid. He doesn't have attacking coaching skills. That's the behavior of guys that can't attack just mid-table football. But I think this guy would actually be good in the championship, Mikel Arteta. I think he'd probably get a team promoted. I think he'd be good at not, you know, I think Mikel Arteta would be good like a David Moyes. Like you won't get relegated, guys. You won't get relegated. We'll stay in the league, but we won't win anything else. We saw Tierney and Tomiyasu for the same reason Calafiori and Timber missed most of their time here. Timber, however, his issue is overuse. If Timber can walk, just like Saka, if he can walk, he can play. Calafiori is just injury prone. Even when he wasn't getting overused, he was going down. So, yeah. Prom says facts. Prom laughing again. I reached the end. Same with Jesus, Havertz, and White as well. Injury prone, and yet we keep these frauds. We only got rid of actual useful players. I knew that this was a problem when we got rid of Aubameyang. We got rid of a Golden Boot winner for Smiley Jesus, everyone. Smiley Jesus. Give me a second again. My throat's dry. All right, so yeah, we gave up a Golden Boot winner for Smiley Jesus, and then Jesus comes out and says, "My best attribute isn't scoring." You're a striker, broski. You're a striker. Your best attribute ain't scoring. That's literally what we got you for. It's crazy. Arteta had one idea of play, sold all the players who didn't fit the system, and now we found out he had zero plan B besides defending pass sideways. Precisely. And I saw it yesterday, and I told my mate the same thing. I said, this guy has no plan B. It's like for likes and just do the same thing and hold on. What we're hoping for now is a City slip. Because we can win our last matches. They're going to be testy. They're going to be ugly. But Man City, we need Man City to slip. That's how we win the title. Because we'll probably win every game. Man City will win on goal difference. And people will say, but we finished joint. Oh, we didn't. We didn't finish joint first. So that's not a thing. But we finished second only on goal difference. He's so close. No. If we do not win the Premier League from where we were, sack him that day. I don't want him to raise his hands like Arsene Wenger. I want him gone that day. Mikel, we didn't win the title. Here's your P45, my guy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's get a new manager in. I never even wanted Trossard. I preferred Matoma over him, but he was the last signing we made in January. We felt strengthened every winter and felt to win the Premier League every year. Man City, every January, they sign somebody. This January, who did they sign? Mark Gahey and Cherky. And Cherky just moonwalked on us, beating us. And we couldn't even get past. We couldn't even get past Gahey. Because we didn't score from open play, guys. We scored from a lucky Kai Havertz deflection because Donnarumma was playing foo-foo games. Oh, it's Semenyo. Sorry. Not Cherky, Semenyo. It was Semenyo. They'd already signed Cherky. They signed Semenyo. And they tried Semenyo and Gahey, and those guys winning. They might win the Prem. We signed Trossard, and that was it. Trossard been here, 2-3 years now? Bro, I'm tired of this guy, bro. I'm tired of this guy. The reason Arteta even won the FA Cup. Sorry. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I need to zone myself. The reason Arteta even won the FA Cup was Aubameyang. Yeah. And then he bent him because he was late. And I had this debate with somebody. He was like, yeah, but you can't be late. You're the captain. I'm like, bro, you think Ronaldinho wasn't late? You think OG Ronaldo wasn't late? You think Messi's never showing up late? Ronaldo's never shown up late? Bro, like, come on, bro. Your best players, sometimes they're mavericks. They show up late. Some of the best players we've ever seen in sports. Bro, and they had to, I said this the other day, they had to go get Dennis Rodman out the strip club. They had to go get this guy at the bunny ranch. Bro, like, some of the best players we've ever seen, bro, they're mavericks. They're all over the joint. But you sometimes as a coach, you deal with that. Because you're like, bro, yeah, this guy, he drinks. You know, Tony Adams. Yeah, he had his issues. But he's our best. He's one of our best players. He's one of our best defenders. So yeah, bro. Like every play, like, I mean, you think Ancelotti didn't have to deal with egos? You know, you think he didn't have to deal with people showing up late or not paying attention or not doing right? Yeah, he had to deal with it, but he won everything. This guy can't deal with egos. He can't deal with outstanding characters. That's why he bend them all. And now he's got nice guys that can't win because they got no bollocks. That's what we got, bro. I feel like Calafiore doesn't want to play. He wants to chill and get a paycheck. Nobody likes playing for Arteta. Yeah. We don't like watching. There's the real possibility that either City complete the domestic treble or the double and Chelsea win a trophy while we finish again with nothing. Bro, if Chelsea win the FA Cup and we win nothing, if this manager is still here, everyone will know what ownership we have. Chelsea have sacked 2 managers this season. They've sacked 2 managers this season. If they win a trophy before us and they've sacked 2 managers, this guy needs to have his P45 in the tunnel. Like, final whistle, clap, clap, clap. Hey, Mikel, let me. Bert's like, hey, Mikel, like, bro, he's Italian as well. Like they do, like, you know, Berta needs to do Mikel Arteta like Michael Corleone did Fredo. I know it was you. Let me come talk to you real quick. I love you, bro. And then as soon as he walks in the tunnel, out of nowhere, like Randy Orton, P45, RKO, out of there. Get in the car, take yourself out the office, on your bike, go back to Spain. That's what he needs to be like. I'm just saying. Jesus' best attributes is getting you, bro. Come on, Jack. Don't get me started on that fool, bro. 265,000 pounds. 265,000 Great British pounds. 265,000 of the king's finest pounds sterling to sit on the bench and smile. Big up, Jack. They signed Gay Hansen. Yeah, I got that. My bad. And that's the thing, too. Thanks for pointing that out. He is an Arsenal fan. Said he wanted to come to Arsenal, but apparently we don't have any money because we spent it all on Nana Madueke. Yeah. Mikel's system or nothing. If you don't fit in the system, you don't play like Norgard. This system isn't built for strikers. It's really 4-6-0, relies on running, pressing. It's not about, it's keeping the scores down and scumbag in the victory. That's what we're doing. And that's what we've been doing. It's annoying, fam. Arteta's managerial career will 100% be the opposite of his playing career. He'll go to Everton, then Rangers, skip PSG, and finish his Real Sociedad as manager. That's his level, and we gave him 6 years. My thing is, we ushered our greatest manager out of the club for competing and not getting over the line. And that guy kept winning FA Cups. This manager ain't been to an FA Cup final since he won the darn thing. Whether you like Wenger or whether you like Arteta, at the end of the day, they both won the same amount of major trophies. 0 in the last 5 years. We didn't win the league. We didn't win the Champions League. 5 years for this guy, we haven't won the league. We haven't won the Champions League. But under this guy, we ain't won any domestics. At least Wenger won the FA Cups along the way. In his last 5 years, he won what? 2 FA Cups? In the last 5 years, we won nada. Nil. Zero. Jack, would you play for the coach that plays S-ball? Coach that plays you injured? Nah, you wouldn't play for a coach that plays terrible football and plays you injured. But a lot of these guys some of these guys want to get into the World Cup, and that's why they're doing it. I think if the World Cup wasn't this year, a lot of these guys wouldn't play. But some of these guys are trying to get into the World Cup kind of fold, like the Maduekes of the world. So I think that's why some of them are playing, because these guys can lose their spot. Essa could lose his spot. Saka could lose his spot. He might not get called up. I think that's why some of them are going hard. But I think if the World Cup wasn't now, nah. I got Chelsea winning this FA Cup. I'm being serious, and it's gonna be with a temporary cup. But if they win it, I gotta go into hiding because I wouldn't hear the end of it. They say Messi is on his phone during team meetings. Sometimes you got to put up with genius. Most of the stuff doesn't apply to him. Yeah, bro. Come on. Like, some of the greatest players we ever seen. The Randy Mosses. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Tom Brady was the guy who paid attention. But, like the Mavericks. The bad boy Pistons. Like, you think they didn't have stuff going on in the background? Yeah, of course they did. But their coach was like, as long as you produce for me on that basketball court, on that football field, on that football pitch, on that baseball diamond, bro, I don't care what y'all got going on. Smoke, drink, don't care. As long as you don't bust for any performance-enhancing drugs, you don't hurt anybody, you don't do anything detrimental to the club, show up late, be ugly, produce, fine. Go live your life. Not this manager. Everybody's going to smile and say, oh, Mikel, I'm so happy to be here. 265, thank you so much. Oh, I'll never find that anywhere else. That's why they won't leave. We'll have to pay off so many players because they will not go. If that temporary coach wins the trophy, nobody can say Coach X ain't good enough. Nobody can say there's not one out there. Yeah. And I get that question a lot, bro. Who would you get? If we get rid of this guy, who would you get? Who would you get? Bro, and I was asked that to who would you get? Ancelotti, Inzaghi, Enrique, Cesc Fabregas. I take Cesc Fabregas just because that guy plays attacking football. Xabi Alonso. You know, Curtis Shaw wants Zidane. I think Zidane is kind of a far reach. But, you know what I'm saying? This guy gets, what, 15 million pounds a year? Surely you can tempt Zidane for 10 million. It's not like we're a small club, people. We're a big international club. We've got a French fan base. Now we have a Spanish fan base. We know we have the Asian fan base on lock, except for the Koreans who love Spuds because of him and Son. Like, you know what I'm saying? We've got such a big fan base and such a big following. We can get anybody we like. But we operate like we're a mid-table club, bro. And Sean says, Xabi Alonso, Zidane, Javi Hernandez, all available. Mateus Gisile or one of Inzaghi's could come in. Even Simeone. Arteta gets 12 million pounds. He gets 15, I think. Third highest paid manager. We can bring in anyone. And they're talking about giving that man 17 to 20. Crazy. But I agree with you, Sean. We can literally get anybody we please. So said, I ain't gonna lie, them Chelsea lot of crazy, but they have ridiculous data. They said changing managers don't relate to winning trophy. Rossini fired, and now his U21 win an FA Cup. Bro, Chelsea has been through so many managers, but they've won everything in football. We've had the same three managers over that same period and won what? 3 FA Cups? I'm just saying. But yeah. Got to the end of the chat. I want to talk about the match. And the match I'll end on talking about the match. So, as you guys seen, I did have the match program. I showed it to you, which I always keep these. And, you know, I did disparage this guy, Victor Gyökeres. So, you've got Kai Havertz. Not Kai Havertz. You've got Martin Odegaard on the cover. And then you've got what's his name? Victor Gyökeres in here. But what I would do to get that guy back. But I don't think I could trust Arteta not to ruin that guy's hamstrings. I'm just saying. But yeah, man, it's like real stadium, right? Elite achievement, the gold trophy. Guys, it's 2026. This is what, 22 years ago? We ain't even in that stadium anymore. That stadium is flats now, people. Last time we won the Prem. But I'm gonna talk about the game. I had a great time. I always have a great time when I go to it. But I did stick around after the match, and I walked over there to the Tony Adams statue where your favorite Arsenal fan channel congregate. Of course, I didn't go on, even though people said I should. I've already told you how I felt about going on the AFTV. I want to build my thing naturally, as natural as possible. And I don't want to just go on there for clicks and to get traction. But I did want to talk to some people who are over there. So I did have a quick chat with Clock In Curtis, who was on TikTok. He's cool. I met him because he was real nice to me when I first started all this stuff. But I did have the, I guess would you say, privilege of speaking to the two Dans, Realist Dan and Positive Dan. And I did have a conversation with Positive Dan, and I will say that the persona that he shows on the internet, it's very similar to his in-person persona. Because we did have a quite strong debate about the manager, where I pretty much told him, I asked him, I said, what did I ask him? I said, if this guy doesn't win anything, like, will he go? And he said, yeah, he's like, I'm not under any impression. If this guy doesn't do anything, that he needs to go. I'm not saying that. I said, so why do you back him so much? He ain't won anything. And then he started talking about, the billions that we spent. We were going back and forth, and I was like, we spent 1.3 billion. He's like, Chelsea spent one more. City spent 1.3. I said, yeah, but they won everything. Like, and he was just, he was getting passionate. And then my friend walked behind, and he was like, yeah, I saw, he looked like he was going. I was like, no, I'm not scared of Positive game. But it's just, and then they had another guy with them, and then Realist Dan comes over. He's like, that's what I deal with, man. He's like, the delusion. And I'm just like, I get that he's the manager. And I get if people are saying, like, I like Arteta because he's the manager. But come on, broski. Come on. Like, if he's the captain of a ship and the ship keeps going around in circles and we ain't getting to our destination, you're not going to say, oh, I'm going to back him because he's the captain of the ship and I love him so much. You're going to say, broski, we're going around in circles. We ain't got there yet. We ain't got to our point yet, right? We haven't got to our destination. So we keep going around in a circle. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Let me get to your comments because I am behind again. Jesus makes $1 million. Great British pounds a month. Yes, 1 million of the finest pound sterling to do absolutely nothing. I need to get a job like that. As long as this coach has attacking philosophy, any new coach will do new ideas. Yep, I agree. As long as they're attacking, we have the attack. We have the defenders if they stay. City win the treble or FA Cup, and I think they become the third best club in England. No, they have more trophies than us. Chelsea as well. Chelsea are only a few behind us as well. But yeah, when is Atletico? Atletico, I think, is this. If I'm not mistaken, Atletico is this week. Let me have a check on the app. I'm pretty sure it's this week Wednesday because I'm going to the match, which is next week Tuesday. Okay, it's the 26th next week. Next week. Something ain't right. Hold on, time out. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yes. Next week, Tuesday, is the 29th. It's this Tuesday. This Wednesday. This Wednesday. It's this Wednesday. Because today is Sunday. It's this Wednesday. Is the away leg. Next week, Tuesday, is the home leg. I'll be going to that one. And then don't know when the final is because I haven't thought that far. So yeah. Bro, I take Henry as manager now. Someone who's won everything as a player knows what it means to be an Arsenal player and fan. Yeah, I don't think that these managers would cope with his attitude and his quest for perfection. I think they start crying in the corner. Yeah, I think his quest for perfection and his want for us to attack, be free, and actually play for the badge, I think they'll crumble under pressure. Because we got a lot of yes men and guys who are happy to be here. I would love Henry as manager for a year, give him a go, and if not, then get him another one. Keep getting a new manager until it works. And I think you should, like I said, man, for me, managers should have 3 to 5 year cycles. You shouldn't get to year 6 unless you're a Pep Guardiola and you keep winning every other year, then you just keep going. But I mean, if once he won the FA Cup, if he didn't win anything by year 5, he got to go get a new manager who can. And I agree, Prom to sack him until they win. We are Arsenal. Yep. Arteta is dragging this club in the mud. And you ask the question, Prom, and this is where I say that the Cronkies are still responsible. Because it's not just Arteta dragging this club in the mud. It's the Cronkies for allowing him to do it. It's the Cronkies for saying, we'll give you a contract if you win one title, even though for 5 years you ain't won nothing. It's they're part of the problem. So I won't let them off the hook. But yes, Arteta is part of the reason. Chelsea won 2 trophies last season. Yep. What did we win? Nothing. We won the top 2 trophy. These top gooners would do me in one day. Nah, stay strong, Prone. Sean said, if I ever get the privilege of going to a home game, we still have Arteta as a manager. I'm going ATV as an international fan, visit for LA and speaking truth. Don't understand how we feel. Yeah, man, I get that, and I would love to, but I have made my boy Rick, who was in here in the beginning. He's been trying to get me to go on ATV, and I said, if we win the title, I'll go on there. If we win the title, I'll go on there. But I ain't holding my breath, my boy. Sean said, I woke up 4:30 a.m. to watch us lose the Bournemouth. So I hate it when fans say international fans. And Sean, I've spoken about that on my channel. You might be new here. I am from the U.S., as you can hear. I'm from Miami. I used to get up and watch early. Not as early as you being from L.A. But yeah, I used to wake up at 6 o'clock to watch them. I used to, and I've been around the world. I've been to places where you have to wake up early. Places where you have to wake up late. We got Suge who's in here who wakes up at ungodly hours to watch. You know what I'm saying? So the one thing I will never let anyone say is that international fans aren't real fans. Because without international fans, Arsenal wouldn't be Arsenal. Without international fans, Arsenal would have the same pull as a Fulham, would have the same pull as a Crystal Palace. Because you can win trophies, but that doesn't make you a big club. You know what makes you a big club? The international fans. Because every time you win trophies, you get a new generation of fans. So in the next 10 years, we'll see more Manchester City fans than anything. Because they keep winning. And every generation, they get more fans. You get kids that are 5, 6 years old that I want to be City fans. We're losing generation of fans. We ain't winning nothing. But when it comes to being a real fan, yes, I'm lucky that I get to go some matches. I've been to 3 this season, and I'll be at 4. It'll be my 13th ever match against Atletico Madrid. I'm lucky. I'm a lucky fan that I know somebody who goes. But that doesn't make me a better fan than someone from LA, than someone from Australia, than someone from Indonesia. I got, people, Proms from Iceland. I got Godfrey, who's from South Africa. You got your guy Cooper and Jack, guys from the U.S. who wake up early. I got guys back in South Florida who wake up early who can't go to the pub because it ain't open to watch matches. So, yeah, I would never let anyone downplay any international fans in Miami. I will not stand for it. I ain't got time for it, bro. I do not have time for it. I will fight anybody tooth and nail when they say we ain't real fans. Now, are international fans different because they don't, they're not in the stadium because they see something different? Yes, fine. I agree. But calling them fake fans because they're not able to go to the match every day, I ain't got time for it, bro. I will fight tooth and nail for every international fan because I know what it's like. And I'm lucky. I'm privileged. I'm so privileged that I get to look at this clown in person. That I get to get these in person. right? That's a privilege. Like I am lucky. I'm fortunate to be able to do this. So no, I'll never call anybody, a fake fan or you're not a real fan because you don't go. People aren't able to go. People aren't able to spend their money. People aren't able to, get a ticket. So I'm able to get one, and I value that to the world and back. But no, I ain't got time for it, bro. If you're in my community and you love the Arsenal, you're a real fan to me. And you don't even got to be an Arsenal fan. If you're a Liverpool fan, if you're a Spuds fan, if you're a Chelsea fan, we got those in here. If you love your team through and through, wherever you're from, you're a real fan to me. Now, if you come in here and say you're an Arsenal fan and you're not, or you say you're a Liverpool fan and you're really something else, nah. Top Gooners are calling Spurs getting relegated trophy. These bums, bro, I hate it. I hate it. And it's the thing. Me and my boy was talking, and it's like, bro, I don't care what happens in Spurs. If we don't win the trophy, Spurs go down, I won't be happy. Because we lost, bro. I care about Arsenal. I don't care if Spurs go. Yeah, it'll be a laugh. Yeah, I'll be able to take the mick. But I care about us winning because I got to hold that. If Spurs go down, we don't win anything. Everybody's not going to be like, oh, Spurs that went down. They're going to be like, well, they had a terrible season. They went down. But Arsenal, you bottomless. That's what I got to hear. But I don't care about them. That's why I don't do watch alongs for others. I don't care about them. I care about this. This is what I care about. I don't care about none of that other stuff. Maybe one day my channel's big enough and I got some free time, but I'm not finna do no hate alongs, bro. I don't care that much. I care about us winning. That's what I want. I want to do watch alongs with us winning. I don't care about the other stuff. And promise it's a Kroenkes ultimately. Yes, it is. Everything stopped at their feet. Our club has not moved forward while they've been in charge. Yeah, they've given us a little bit more money. Yeah, they've given us a new manager, but we have not progressed since they've taken over. That's just the honest truth. But they give them money, so he has the back. Yeah, he's had the backing. He's the one constant, bro. He's the one constant. Sean says Kroenke's top Gooners this club are back to top four is a trophy mentality. And I think that's the worst thing that Arsene Wenger ever said, bro. That top four is a trophy. It wasn't. And once we fell into that, it was so hard to get up. It was so hard to get away. So, yeah. But ultimately, they're keeping him in the job. So, yeah. And Prom was laughing again. Big up, Prom. Prom said, please put Odegaard down. Yeah. Bro, you don't understand how my face dropped. Like, we about to play Newcastle. I'm like, bro, I wonder who's going to be on the cover. I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, as it's been all right this season, let's see this guy. Maybe we see Max Diamond on cover. Nah, I got to see this clown. And I think that's from the last match where he clapping and stuff. Is this a... Good job, guys. Listen, this guy has had more hairstyles this season than goals and assists. Remember, he had the buzz cut. He had it long and luscious. Now he's back to kind of this mid thing. Bro, goofballs. Sean said exactly, and yet there are people on Arsenal propaganda TV that say international fans ain't this strict though. Bro, I don't like talking about other content creators, and I won't talk in depth. All I'm gonna say is there's certain fans that I can tell that just say things for traction. And like I said, I don't want to be that, which is why I don't want to go on ASTV. I want to say my opinion. I want to give my feelings, but I don't want to be made into a meme, and I don't want to be made into a traction machine. I want to say my feelings because that's how I feel. And I think that I can do that on my own platform. If only 10 people see it, that's fine with me. I don't need 5,000 people to look at me and say, oh man, look at him. Oh, he gets things going. Oh, he's so passionate. Oh yeah, I'll get subs and stuff and great. But I don't want to sacrifice who I am to do anything. You know, at least to the first 1,000. I'll never sacrifice who I am, but like at least when I get to the first 1,000, I can go on ATV because I'll be known, and people will know who I am. And yes, maybe I'll get some more, but I don't want to be the guy that just pops in on ATV and that's how I got my following. I want to get it by going on panels with people who actually talk football, like Shane Gooner. He came in here. You know, being on the same panel as a guy like Jez, you know, being on the same panel with a guy like Normsky, Kenny Kent, like those guys. You know what I'm saying? Those guys to me know football. They know more football than they've forgotten more football than I will ever know. That's what's meaningful to me, because I value their opinions because they've seen it. They've seen George Graham. They've seen, you know, Bruce Rioch. They've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. They've been Arsenal fans their entire life. They got pictures of them in their toddler kits. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. I don't want to just go on a platform and farm views and farm subs. I don't want to do that. I want to go on platforms and say, yes, I can hold my own. Yes, I can say something. Like I'm on Monday night. I'm probably on tomorrow night on a Monday Night Madness with Waffle Don. Like, but we're talking actual football. We're not. I don't want to go on AFTV just to be clickbait. I just don't want to, man. I got enough things going on in life just to be someone's clickbait. And not only that, but I'm getting on there, right, on AFTV. I'm getting them 5,000 views. That don't go to me. Them viewing hours don't go to me. Those views don't go to me. So I'll get 5,000 views on the hope that maybe I get 20 subscribers. But I've just helped the engine get 5,000, 10,000 views. And I get nothing from that. Not saying that I want to do it for that, but I feel like I can just do that on my channel. And the same 20 views that I get from Ad TV, I can go on Bruce Banana. I can go on Views channel. I can go do a show with Waffle Nut. I can do a show with BBK. I can do a show with those guys. You know, maybe one day I'll do a show with Lee. Who knows? A show with Troops. Someone who's speaking football and speaking how they feel, not being there because they want to say the most outrageous thing. You know, we're gonna win 9-0, or we're gonna win 6-0. When was the last time we scored more than 4? But we'll do it today. How? When's the last time you saw us score more than 3? Come on, man. Stop saying stuff for traction. I don't want to be that. I want to be my own man. I want to get things off my own sweat and tears. You know, I want to get things off my own hard work. And if that means that it takes me 5 years to get to 1,000 subscribers, that's just how long it takes me. If it takes me 5 years to get monetized, that's just how long it takes. I'll value the 5 years because I've learned something along the way. And if I never get monetized, if I never get to 1,000, if there's 8, 10, 5 of you in here who are having a conversation, who are getting away from the rigmarole of their lives, that's good enough for me. That's just how I feel about this YouTube thing. So as much as people want me to go on AFTV, I don't have any interest at the moment. I'm just saying. There's fake fans who are in the Emirates Stadium who don't even know the names of the people on the field. And that's one of the things that annoys me about the size of our club. You know, one thing that annoys me is that we've gotten to a point where there's so many fans that you have to you've got so many fans who are day fans, right? They're out there to have a day, but our club is so international. When you see, like, you know, superstar, you see movie stars with Arsenal kits on, you know, Anne Hathaway, for example, right? Now when people come to London, if I like Anne Hathaway, I've seen her with an Arsenal kit, and I want to go watch Arsenal. I want to see if maybe she's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, That's what we've become, and that's the downside to being international, because people want to come see you just to be in the moment instead of being like a diehard fan, and you lose some of that. But like I said, Arsenal wouldn't be as big without some of that traction, so it's a double-edged sword. Any top Gooner says Spurs relegation as a trophy is as bad as the Spuds fan. Yeah, I think they're worse. It's weird. Putting him on a match day program wasn't nearly as bad as the modern captain video. That, bruh, Sean, bro, diabolical. Prom says how choosing. Sean says respect that. I can only be who I am, Sean. And Prom says I agree. DJ being those guys, I've learned so much about our history, bro. DJ, like, and this is the thing with me, right? I've only been a fan for 10 years. Sorry, I've only been a fan for 10 years. Like, being on a panel with DJ B and Jez, like, for me, it's a little bit intimidating, bro. Because like I said, these guys have been Arsenal fans for longer than I've been alive. You know, I'm 33 years old. A lot of these guys have been Arsenal fans from around that time or earlier, right? So I'm in a panel with guys who have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I can only speak on what I've seen and what I've read. But I respect that more than a guy who wasn't even doing Arsenal content. You didn't see him at any games. You know, not saying that's anybody in particular, but, you know, some of these guys, you saw them with different jerseys and stuff. I've been honest about my journey. You know, when I started, I was watching other teams. You know, I love Sevilla. I was watching some other Prem teams. But once I became Arsenal, I was Arsenal. There's nothing else. Right? Once I chose Arsenal as my team, there has been nothing else. There won't be anything else. But I had to get to that point because I'm American. I didn't know who to follow. So I tried following different people until it felt right. And Arsenal felt right. I will never hide from that fact. Right? I will never hide from that fact. And I'll never shy from that fact because that's how I live my life. I'm always in different situations. You know, I lived in Spain before, which I wish I still did. But, you know, I tried university in America. I tried university abroad. I like university abroad more. I've tried working in America. I've tried working in England. I like working in England more. That's just how my personality. I like to try different things until the moment and the opportunity feel right. And once that happens, then I just let it grow from there. So that's how it was with Arsenal. And I joined Arsenal when we was getting 10-2 by Bayern Munich. And I still loved it because the fan base, because of the values of the club, because of the history, because of Arsene Wenger, because of Alexis Sanchez. That's why I did it. So that's how I feel about it, man. I love this club. And anytime I put my mind or dreams or hope into something, I give 100%. I do it with my marriage. I do it with my job. I do it with this channel. I try to give 110% to this channel. I'm still learning. I still get things wrong, but I can't do anything half because that's not how I was raised. The Puerto Rican in me, the pride in me would not allow me to half-ass anything. So if I only give you guys 20%, I'm doing you a disservice. So for me, my thing is learning my history of the club. You know what I'm saying? Learning what it means to be an Arsenal fan. Learn what it means to be a Gunner. That's what it means to me. And that's what I respect. So I don't want to go on anybody's channel just to be a prop. Just to be, oh, we got an American fan. And he knows a little bit about football. Oh, let's say something controversial. I don't want that, bro. I want to say how I feel, and that be that. If I only ever get to 500 subscribers, thanks for you 500 for believing in me. That's it, bro. Big up, Arteta 6 years still hasn't learned anything. Nope, and he won't. He won't. That's why I think we need to get rid. Sean says, how many modern fans have actually read Fever Pitch by Nick Hornby, for example? So many people don't even know our history. Gifted to me by employees of Arsenal Football Club. This book here. Signed by them as well. Sean, if you're new, right? If you're still in the chat, Sean, we will be reading this book. I will be doing a Gooner Rican book club And I'm starting with this one because this is like the Arsenal book. So I will be doing Gooner Rican Book Club, hopefully after the season, just to kind of remember what it means to be an Arsenal fan, what it means to be part of the Arsenal. Hopefully I'm on a high because we won a trophy. But this is what we're reading. This is what we're going to be reading. This is our first book in the Gooner Rican Book Club. And I have so many more that I want to read. 89, Anfield, Highbury, right? And I've got some books of the greats, and I keep them underneath my bench, which I sit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have some legends. Invincible. This guy, Thierry Henry. Like, I have books, and we're gonna read them. So, Sean, if you like that kind of thing, you know, if you like hearing about it, I'm gonna read them. One, because you know there might be things that I don't know as a fan, because I didn't witness in Invincibles. I wasn't there for that, and I just like to be educated. And me and my community, I help my community be educated, because you might know something, you might find out something you didn't remember. You know what I'm saying? You might say, "Oh man, I forgot about that," or you might find out a viewpoint that you were like, "Man, when I was a fan, I thought this was going on, but he said this was going on. That's interesting." Right? That's why we're doing that. That's why I'm doing that. So I agree. I want to know our history, and I want to keep growing and learning with my community. So that's why we're doing the Gooner Rican Book Club. So if you like what you're hearing so far, remember, like, share, subscribe. And anyone who's new, all my lurkers who may not be talking, all the people listening in the background, if you haven't already, please like, please share, please subscribe, and, you know, join the Art Theater community. Big up Prom again. He said, how did you rate Giroud as a player? So Giroud was my first striker. And unfortunately, I witnessed the 12 games where we didn't score and didn't end up winning the league. For me, Giroud was a better Havertz. He could give you moments when the pressure was off, but sometimes when the pressure was on, he just missed, like Monaco. Like, you just keep missing and missing. You're like, bro, Giroud, you met, and then he scored like a worldie and a scorpion kick. And you're just like, why did you do this 2 games ago when we needed? Right? It's that. That's how he felt for me. But I would take Giroud right now, because I think Giroud would move a little bit more. But I think that if we had an elite striker like the biter, aka Suarez, then I think we'd have won a lot more. But Arsenal, in my opinion, these last 10 years have been a club of if, and, buts, or maybe. If, and, buts, or maybes. That's what we are. But Prom said Egal is one of the worst of them. I can't lie. Yeah. I mean, I can know. I've come across him, and I get that he talks. I'd like to do a panel with him. I'd like to do a panel with Egal just to have a conversation. I doubt he will, because he probably thinks that, like, I'm this super negative dude. I don't know if he's ever watched my stuff, but, you know, my thing is I don't beef with anybody. I don't have any beef with anybody. Like, that's why I went and talked to Positive Dan, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I go and talk to Positive Dan because I want to know. I'm a sociologist. I'm a psychologist. I like to know why people think and do what they do. So I don't mind having a conversation as long as we're respectful. And we can just, you know, once the insults start coming on, I'm gonna shut that down. The insults start coming, I'm gonna get rid of you, or I'm just gonna leave. Because to me, if you can't have a credible and grown man conversation without calling someone out or insulting someone, you could call, you know, like when I say call somebody out, is like calling somebody out of their name or insulting someone, then I feel like it's a lack of emotional and intellectual integrity. You know, I think it's a lack of intellectual capacity, because I can debate anyone based on the knowledge that I know and the knowledge that they know. And if they're right, I'm man enough to say, you know what? Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but I hear what you're saying. I might not always agree, but I will hear what they're saying. But the moment you come out and you start, you know, telling people, calling people, you know, idiots, and that's why I don't do that. Like, Egal just feels how he feels. Do I think that it's genuine all the time? No, I don't. But I'm not gonna call him in it. I'm not gonna call him out of his name because I won't want nobody to do that to me. You know what I'm saying? So I won't disparage anybody. I think everybody is in their own lane and they do what they do. At the end of the day, you have to look at yourself in the mirror, and if you're okay with what you look at, then fine. Me, Mickey, Gooner Rican, I'm always gonna say how I feel because when I look in the mirror, I want to look at it and say, you were you. So yeah, big up, bro. Should I say for sure, man? I love this club 110%. I've been watching since the turn of the century when I was 6 years old. I'll be happy to read it with you, sir. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think it's gonna be a great thing. I want disclaimers, guys. I do read better than I did tonight. I have been operating on a little bit of sleep. As I said, I did get home pretty late, and then I woke up pretty early to do errands with the missus. So I've been up all day. And it's currently 10:37 p.m. So I am going to get off this joint in a bit because I do have to get ready for work tomorrow because I've got an early one at work again. So, but yes, I promise I do read better than this. But yeah, big up, Sean. And the first lady has popped in, which means she's probably off the phone with her mama, which means it's almost time for me to go to sleep. But yeah, she said Drew did no wrong in my eyes. Listen, this woman here, this woman that I married to, right? She conned me. I thought, me personally, I thought that she wanted to go to the Emirates Stadium to go look at Arsenal things. No, this lady took me to Emirates Stadium to stand next to a larger than life cutout of Olivier Giroud with her wedding ring and her hand on him and saying, it's Drew. Then we went to Piccadilly Circus, and there's Drew with the tightest Arsenal jersey I've ever seen. And she's like, I'm like, is that why we came? She know I like Arsenal. I said, something ain't right. Something ain't right here. But yeah, my wife thought Drew was a handsome man. She thought Drew was handsome, and she liked the skin tight Puma jerseys. And that, you know what's funny? That's the last time she actually watched full Arsenal matches. Now she's a casual watcher. So like, even if we go out, she'll be on her phone. She'll watch. She'll look up, look down. You know what I'm saying? But that's the last time when Giroud was on the team, bro. She was talking about tactics left and right. Oh, we need to get Giroud in the box. Now it's like, oh, I see it. Oh yeah. I said as a score to go. I'm like, bro, stop it. But nah, big up to the lady who's the reason I'm an Arsenal fan. She's the reason I'm an Arsenal fan. And now look at me. I'm in here waffling to the best community on YouTube. And Prom said the ball was glued to him. Yeah, man, he was good. He was great in the box, but sometimes he just wouldn't. The ball, you know, sometimes the ball would come to him and he just wouldn't get it where it needed to be. But at least he took his chances, and I mean, he got more chances than we're seeing now. I think Giroud and this team would probably be one of the Golden Boot scorers if we had Wenger. If you put Wenger, oh my, like for me, if this team had Alexis Sanchez, prime Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, Arsene Wenger as manager, and Giroud up front, we would cook. We would cook. Sean said, if it weren't for my first coach, who was an Arsenal fan from London, I would have probably been an AC Milan fan because they were the other team doing really well in the early 2000s. Yeah. I mean, so I'm guessing you're not one of those people that had two teams. Like, for me, my first ever team, and a team that I still love, which is why I did this a little bit later, is Sevilla. All right, I love Sevilla. I lived near Seville. I lived an hour from Sevilla. You know, I lived in Spain for 2.5 years, on and off. And my first ever club match was Sevilla. I've seen them play Real Madrid. I've seen them versus Arsenal. So I love Sevilla. But when I found Arsenal, when I found the history, it was just too undeniable for me. But yeah, Sevilla, my second team. And Prom did ask if they ever played each other, who would I go for? It'd be Arsenal first. But I wouldn't be upset if Sevilla won. I'd be upset that Arsenal lost, but then I'd be like, I'm glad that Sevilla got something as well. So it's like when you have an ex-girlfriend and she moves on and she does good things, you're kind of sad that it's not with you, but then again, you love her and you're happy. So that's how I feel about Sophia. And Pro says, not that I hate them or don't like them, it's the things they say so delusional I can't take it. I'm just like, you can't be believing the things you're saying right. And that's the thing, Prom. That's what I said. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between believing something. Like Ty, I think, believes what he says because he's been consistent. When we're good, when we're bad, ugly, Ty is consistent. People call him delusional, but he will always go for Arsenal. Some of these guys, they say, like, in person, they're like, oh, man, F this manager. Then they get in front of the camera, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to put 6 past Mikel Arteta. He's my favorite. That's not real. I feel about Arteta the same way I do off camera as I do on camera. I think that he did good things. I think he got us to a point, but I don't think he's the man to take us over that point. And that won't change for me. If he wins, I'll say, yeah, he got us to that point. Great. He's got us to that point. I was wrong to say that he wouldn't get us to that point. But is he an elite manager because he won 1 Prem? You know, was Ten Hag a good manager because he won a couple trophies? Was Ange a good manager because he won the Europa League with Spurs? Now, if he does it consistently, if we win the title this year and we come back and we win the Champions League the next season, and then we come back that next season and we win the league again, then I'll say, you know what? I hold my hands up. It took a long time, but Mikel Arteta is different than what I said. However, if we don't, then it's just like, yeah, you won the Prem. Great. I appreciate it. My wife says, I too have a delusion limit prone. Yeah, bro. It's nasty. It's nasty. Sean says, I've seen a lot during my years as a fan, but one of the most disappointing memories was the Newcastle game with about a 4-1 lead. 4-0 lead back in 2011. Yeah, it's too early for me. But one of my worst one was bottling the league to Newcastle when we lost, the whole Joe Willock thing. That hurt me. It was always Newcastle. That's why I felt good to beat them. However, it would have felt good to beat them if we were still like 3 points ahead and we made it 6. That would have felt better to me. But yeah. Prom said, I like Giroud. Prom's laughing. I said, I'm pissed again. Prom's laughing at me and my wife. And of course, my wife comes back and says the team had a lot more to look at than. I mean, yeah, you had fashionistas in that team, man. You had Giroud, you had Hector Bellerin. Who else you had? You had Theo Walcott. He's a fashion guy. Because you look at some of these guys and they're still doing punditry and they still got like the nice, like Daniel Sturridge, like he's a fashion guy, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but my wife liked the eye candy, you know what I'm saying? And then of course she liked Uncle Wenger because he had the long jacket and he looked like the professor. That team was so likable, bro. And I wish they were better and won stuff, but Pro laughing again, he said I hear it. Sean said I need to get me an Arsenal wifey too. Yeah, man. My wife was the Arsenal fan, and then I became the Arsenal fan, and then she's become a casual watcher. But one thing I do love about her is she allows my jersey addiction, and she supports the channel, and yeah, she allows me to go away and enjoy the Arsenal, even if she does not feel like it. She's like, yeah, you can go, you'll have a good time. And she'll give me some lunch money. And I'll go and have a good time and I'll come back and she'll ask me how it was. Tell me, what she was what she was doing. And of course she's popped in the chat and said allow us a stretch. Allegedly. He said LOL, Sean. Jack says Stoney wants Drew to be the next manager of Arsenal. Hey, listen, if he was a good manager, I know she wouldn't be opposed. Said Drew also speaks French. Yeah, bro, the guy is smooth. Like you look at his he was modeling and stuff, and then you look at his interviews, and he just we. And you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Van Persie, Fabregas, Najee, Arshad, and Son would have been wrapped this league up if they had this defense behind. Yeah, man. And this is a problem that I've always had with Arsenal. Is I've always felt like we're always a player or two short. We're always like, you know, close to getting over. But you know, when I first started watching, we needed defenders. We had a world-class attack. We need defenders. Now we've gotten to the point where we got a world-class defense, and now we need attackers. So I just wish we could get a manager who can get both. Sean said, you have any players that you wish could have played more for Arsenal that you think could have changed things for us? Diaby and Santi Cazorla for me. Santi Cazorla for me. If I'm thinking recently, Aubameyang. If we had gotten a manager who could deal with egos, Aubameyang would have won us the title in 22-23. That's just the truth. You know, look what he did for Barcelona. Look what he did for Chelsea. You know, even though Chelsea was kind of mid. You know what I'm saying? But Santi Cazorla, that injury, maybe Thomas Rosicky, Mesut Ozil as well. I think he could have stayed a little bit more, a little bit longer. What other players can I think of? I think too, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, if he had stayed instead of going up to Liverpool, I think he could have helped us out a lot. But he didn't want to play. He didn't want to play fullback. He wanted to play midfield. Some weird thing, or was that Ainsley Maitland-Niles? I don't remember. But you know, I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles could have helped as well. But yeah, give me a new manager, 3 attacking players with creativity on the foundation that we have, bro. We'll cook this league. Yeah, but we're still waiting on and hoping. That's the problem. Lots of TV talking heads, tap dance for access to the club. It's embarrassing. And that's the thing, bro. Like, I would love access to the club, but I couldn't do YouTube and have access to the club because I think that my opinion comes from outside of the club. And once you get access to the club, you have to say things that are pro club, and it's not true. You know what I'm saying? It's not true to me. So I have to look at a performance, us stink out the joint, and say, "Oh, Mikel had a great plan. You know, our job was to not give up goals, and we didn't. We had a clean sheet, and we got out there with the 1-0. I never want to compromise myself with that. Would I love to work for Arsenal Football Club? Of course I would. And any fan would love to work for the club they love. But, excuse me. Like, any fan would love to work for the club they love. But then you can't work for the club you love and criticize it, or else you don't have a job. So I can't be myself, my rational, you know, angry self, and work for the club. So if I can't do that, if I can't do YouTube and I work for the club, then I'll get rid of the YouTube channel. If I were to work for the club. But I don't want to get rid of the YouTube channel because I like you guys. So I would just stay with YouTube and not work for the club. Would I want to work for another club? I work for like Aston Villa. I wouldn't work for Chelsea. But yeah, I couldn't work for the club and do YouTube because I'd have to compromise who I am. And I wouldn't want to do that. Prom said, eye candy. Hold on real quick, guys. This is the downside to me doing YouTube and working a job where I have to speak to people because I talk so much my throat goes just angry. But yeah. And my wife said allow the stretch. Deep down you like it. You get the pouty face, but deep down you like it. Yeah, deep down you like it. I mean, I have a closet full of things. And I know that sometimes she's kind of antsy because I've taken up half of my closet with just Arsenal jerseys. I don't hang. I've got Arsenal jerseys and hoodies, and I fold all my other clothes. So I don't hang no jackets or nothing in that joint. Like it's literally just half Arsenal jersey, and then the other half is like her stuff. But yeah, it's just Arsenal jersey, bro. She deep down she loves it. Allegedly. Prom again. Laurent Koscielny, nah. I wouldn't take Koscielny. I like Gabriel Saliba. Giroud, yes. Bellerin, yes. Oh, you talking about? Oh, okay. You talking about handsome people? Koscielny, yeah, he was all right. Giroud, Bellerin, Arteta. I don't think Arteta's that handsome. Now that Shane's done the whole Bundy thing, I can't unsee it. So that's probably why. But yeah. And then she said that was a golden comment. Yeah, bro, she always come in here flaming me. Look at that. But that woman's a rock, man. If you ever find you a Stony, you hold on to that. The Brazilian beach volleyball team got allegedly. Oh, I love Santa. Yeah, I like him, bro. He's still playing, bro. I watched that guy have a shot at Oviedo when they beat us, bro. Listen. On a side note, like I said, I was late because I was watching Sevilla. These guys lost to Osasuna, bro. After leading 1-0, it hurt me. I'm watching the team that I love in the relegation battle. It's like Sevilla has become Tottenham, bro. Diabolical. It's hard. Gnabry, the one who got away. Yeah, there's a couple ones. Kylian Mbappe, we probably could have had. Zlatan doesn't do tryouts. There's so many players, and I get what you're saying that he got away because he was here. But there's so many players we could have had that just stupidity, like the 40 million and a pound thing, bro. 45 million, we get Suarez. We're having a different conversation. I just feel like we're always one step behind, and we're always penny pinching at the wrong times. Like you're gonna penny pinch not to buy, a 100 million pound striker, but then go buy 90 Madueke and Kai Havertz. Make it make sense. City's balls Wenger used to get us, man. Then we're stuck with this Arteta scratch. So yeah, bro. I think Wenger, if we had sacked this dude with 10 games to go and put Wenger in, I bet you we win the league easy. It's crazy too because the club wouldn't exist without its fans, but they supposed to fall in line with their narrative. Yeah, bro. I can't do it. I can't sacrifice myself for club PR. Like I could never do that. It would hurt me so bad, bro. It would hurt me so bad to sacrifice myself. So yeah, I could not. I couldn't give that up, bro. I couldn't give up myself and how I feel for kind of saying, "Oh, Mikel's doing a great job. Oh, it's good that we've dropped. Oh, we can't win every season. Yeah, we finished second 4 times in a row, but that just means we're competing. I can't do that. Finishing second 4 times in a row means our manager hasn't learned anything, and that's what I'm saying. 6 years, closing on 7. We still all we had to show for it is the dog. Win is a beautiful dog, though. Like, let's be honest. Like, I love animals. Win is a beautiful dog, and she's always happy. But yes, bro, this is the one thing, and I promise I'm closing. Right, I got 10 more minutes, and I'm out of here. This is the thing with our club, bro. The PR is so beautiful. Like, if anybody is doing a PR course, if you're thinking about going into public relations, watch the Arsenal. Every time we lose, there's a merch drop. Every time we lose, it's never the manager's fault. There's always something else. Every time we fall short each year, it's always injuries. It's always the sun was in our eyes. It's always the ball was too round. And The fan base just lap it up. Yes, Mikhail. I love it, Mikhail. The passion, Mikhail. Last year, and I said this to the Dans. I said, I do things in 3-year increments. 3-year increments. 3-year increments. I said he got to pass the first 2.5 years because they said that he was in a bad situation. So we finished 8th, we finished 5th. I said, okay, now in that 3rd year, he got 2nd. So I said, okay, he got 2nd. We're on to something that will start the next 3 years because he was cleaning something up. He's gotten 2nd. Fine. He gets a couple more years. Show us what we can do. We compete for 2nd. We don't win. 2nd year, we bottle the league. We don't win. Now for me, you're going into year 3. You have to win now. Not only do we not win, we regress, and we finish 10 points behind a mid Liverpool team with a first-year manager. A mid team with the first-year manager, we finished 2nd to by 10 points. At that point, that's when we should have sacked him. That's when we should have said, all right, Mikel, you've had 3 chances. You struck out 3 times. Now, Brosi, it's time to get a new manager. Nope, we blame the injuries. Now we're back to the same situation where we're watching it slip. And people are still making excuses for Mikel Arteta. And that shows us where we are as a fan base. That shows us where we are as a club. And it shows where our owners are. Because any football people would see 3 years, it ain't worked. You can tack on the other 2 if you want. But being fair, 3 years has not worked. 3 years, we haven't won a trophy. We need a new voice. Nope, we're going to year 4, and they're talking about giving him an extension. That's where we are, guys. Welcome to the Arsenal. I'm laughing again. Jack said, work for Spuds. I would never. Unless they paid me a stupid amount of money. And even then, it would burn my soul. I'd wear their outfit with red socks underneath. I'd have to. Big up, Prom. Said, I just want to thank you for this wonderful stream. You're welcome. Thank you for sticking by. As I said, you're giving me nearly 3 hours of your time. So that means a lot to me because I know there's a million other things you could be doing rather than listen to this man waffle. But I always appreciate, and I'm so thankful that you stopped by. And everyone in the chat, thanks for stopping by. I really enjoyed it. God bless you guys and your families. Yep. God bless you too, Prom. And I hope that it's nice in Iceland. I'm very jealous of you being in Iceland. Although Iceland was one place I've been to that has made me feel broke. Not gonna lie to you. Maybe Copenhagen. Copenhagen may have also made me feel a little, because them Corona, bro, they get to you. But when I'm in Europe, I feel like a king. I got to Iceland. I was like, whoa, let me check what's in my bank account. What's in my bank account? Ooh. And I was using pounds. I was like, dang. But nah, Iceland is so beautiful, man. It's definitely a country that, if I can get a cheeky little flight back to, I would definitely go because I'd like to for me, I like to go to Iceland and just drive. Just drive. Stop random places. I had a coffee. I had a nice coffee in a little shop in the middle of one of those joints. I couldn't even tell you what it was. But walking out there getting rained on was the most beautiful thing, man. The falls, the crater. This is beautiful. Beautiful. And of course, the First Lady, thanking everybody for stopping by, especially Prom. which means that it's someone. Listen, I see the eyes through the wall. Like I feel them on me, right? Because this is the wall and she's like on the other side. And I just feel it like, get off the internet. Get off the internet. I'm gonna have to schmooze up to her later, rub some feet, you know, and call her beautiful because she let me sit on here for 3 hours. But yeah, big up to the first lady of the channel. I'm staying to the end though. Thank you. And I like real people with real feelings and opinions, not these fake fans. And yeah, man, like the thing is, I just want to be genuine. Like that's all I want to do. I just want to be a genuine person, right? And whether people like me or not, if I'm myself, I go to sleep happy. But I could never. It would hurt me so bad. Like it would eat me up so much inside if I had to be someone I wasn't. Just because I've lost a lot of people in life. Like I said, I lost my mom and my uncle who were like my shining lights. And one of the things they instilled upon me is always be you. Never be who you were. They had a tough life. You know, they had health issues. They had, you know, the cards stacked against them. And I watched them smile when the world treated them like trash. So for me, if I can't be who I am, if I can't be nice to people, if I can't be kind to people, if I can't treat people better than they treat me, then I'm failing those people who came before me, who aren't here anymore. So that's just me, right? I don't mean to get emotional on the channel and stuff, but that's just how I feel about my channel, right? I don't want to go back and forth with you. I don't want to have a fight with you because we got enough people fighting in the world. You know, you turn on the news and this country's attacked this country. You know, this person has talked trash about this, but I don't want to add to that, man. There's enough bad stuff going on in life. I might disagree with you. I might disagree with your football takes, and I'd like to talk to you about disagreeing with those. But I'm not going to come for you. I'm not going to call you out. I don't have time to do that. I don't have the time or the mental energy to do that. You can do it if you want, and you know, it's fine. If you want to waste your time talking about me, that's cool. But it ain't my style. It ain't my style to talk trash, or start beef. I ain't got time for that, bro. I really don't. I got enough beef in my life. Only beef I want to see is the steak dinner. So yeah, but big up. The board sees its Arsenal purely as a business. Arsenal, the business is done. And yeah, you know what's crazy, bro? Every time you hear about the Arsenal, you hear, oh, Arsenal have made a profit. Oh, Arsenal are in profit. Arsenal has made something. It's like, bro, we're a football club. Arsenal ain't won a trophy in 5 years. Why aren't we hearing about that from the club? We're Arsenal posted a profit. Yeah, because we keep selling stuff out because fans won't boycott because we've become an international club. And I've said this. I said this is the problem that we have. It'll be hard to get these guys out because you have so many fans who spend thousands of pounds to watch this match, who come from around the world to watch them. How can you ask them to walk out when they've paid $500,000? And the club knows this, which is why they continue to act foolish. It's not like, you know, the Pompey. Pompey, how many fans are coming internationally to watch Pompey? Not that many. There's some, but not that many. So Pompey fans can just dip out. They say, oh, we ain't having this. And they'll get the manager out. But how many of the 60,000 are from London? How many are season ticket holders? How many would just say, you know what? I'm walk out. It doesn't matter what happens. And the club knows that. So you have to kind of hit them in other ways. I don't know how we do that, but as long as we keep buying merch and stuff, and I'm part of the problem, I admit it. I'm self-aware. But if we had a massive, you know, boycott and said, our international fans, you ain't buying no merch this year. And then you saw them dip, and then you saw the Cronkies come out and say, we're selling. You know, if you saw fans walk out mass protests and say, don't buy merch, I'm with it. That's what happened with Wenger. But nope, they're happy with Mikel because he has light bulbs and sings North London Forever. And Prom said, if you ever come again, let me know. I'll invite you for dinner. I appreciate that. And I will. I'll be back eventually. But I got so many other countries to travel to. I just got my passport back. I had to renew my passport, which I didn't realize that it had been 10 years since I, renewed my passport. And I just got my passport back. I feel like a new man, but I got so many other places. Japan, Malaysia. My wife's been talking about Bali for ages. I want to do Australia, New Zealand, and of course, Brazil. I want to do Brazil so badly because I want to see the favelas. I want to see where Ronaldinho came from. I just want to. Brazil is who we grew up watching, and I'd love to be there and see like the Christ the Redeemer and all that stuff. So that'd be dope for me. But yeah, big up, Prom. And he said, "I hear you, brother. And I trusted you. Also with some personal stuff. I can tell you're a trustworthy person. I'm sure you're a great friend. Thank you for that, Prom. I try to be, but like in my job, I work a job where you have to break a lot of bad news." And you have to explain a lot of things that are tough to speak about, in the moment. So I value when people share things. I think one of the problems that I've always had, though, is sometimes I take on too much. And, if I take that on and I let it affect me, then it's kind of tough. But I always try to be the person that I want people to be to me. And in life, sometimes it results in you being hurt. But I've learned to kind of only give up to a certain point. But yeah, I try to be the person that I hope people are to me. And I try to be the person that my uncle and my late mother, want me to be and kind of made me. So yeah, if I'm anything, for me, if I feel like, if I wasn't myself, if I was rude, if I was terrible, then I'd be spitting on their kind of memory, and it would eat me up inside. So that's why I try. But big up, Prom. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Jack said, Mix a real one, 305. I'm building a dream with elevators in it. Arsenal needs to be careful not to be like New York Knicks. They play well but won't get a chip. The Garden always packed, lots of tourists and casuals. Yeah, man. It becomes a spectacle. Yes, Brazil, also the beach volleyball. But it becomes a spectacle. It becomes where people are just having a good time instead of watching the on-court, the on-field product. So yeah. But yeah, I'll end on that, guys. Yep, Prom says, sorry, wife is calling me. We're going to read in Book of Thomas together. Solid. It's always good to read, especially if you're reading like the Bible. Yeah, big up, Prom. I hope to see you on the next one. Have a great night. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna end. You guys know how I end it. I hope that everything goes well for you this week. I hope that everything you want to happen happens. I hope that everything that's detrimental to you, that's causing you trouble, that's causing you pain, that's causing you stress, I hope it disappears. And I hope most of all is that you enjoyed tonight's stream and that you find yourself back in the community. You find yourself back at Gooner Rican TV, and you find yourself back, in the comments. So take it easy. Have a good night. And I'll see you sometime in the week. I mean, I will have shows. We do have the Champions League come on, so I will have a preview out for that, as I said, right before the match. I'll see you. I'll actually see you tomorrow because I will be on Waffle Don's. So if you don't know, I'm on Waffle Don show, usually on Mondays at 6, 7 o'clock. 6, 7. But yeah, I'm usually there. So I will see you guys. Have a good night. Hope everything goes well. And as always, come on, you